What you thinking, man?
I've been in the poly.
What you thinking, man?
I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now.
Okay.
And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this monogamy just doesn't fit for me.
Right.
I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard supposedly is?
Right.
And then the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told them, don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we were even fathers. Why doesn't my father like is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are. Like absolutely. So if we don't understand that, all we know is a rejection.
You see, what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was a run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. At one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman, no matter what their social economical status was. White women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, I know, you hit it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. It means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. That's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, So there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, the men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband and stuff like that.
What's that? And what it do? What it do? What it was?
Nothing much. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. It's been a minute, man. It seemed like it's been forever. I don't know why. It seemed like it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a week though.
I guess so. What you been up to, man? How's everything going?
Everything's going good. Getting back on my grind again, and been spending more time with my sons lately. So that's been important. But other than that, just doing the me thing, doing the public speaking thing. Did a big podcast appearance this past Saturday up for some speaking engagements. So, I'm blessed.
Okay. Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So I say we'll go ahead and tackle some different little topics. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep it hot because the summer been kind of hot. It's been pretty cool lately though.
Right.
The weather
Right,
been
yeah.
pretty cool lately.
Been pretty mild.
But it's happening, and we got to speak on it, whether it's sensitive or not.
Right.
Hold on a minute. Okay, hold up. Trying to get this thing going. Okay. So yeah. So we're gonna touch up on some things tonight, and they need answers. There's questions out there, and people want answers. So we gotta give it. We gotta give it to them. Well, at least give them a perspective. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. If for no other reason,
like you said earlier, we not bashing or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because ain't none of us perfect. You know what I'm saying? We're not bashing by no means, and no one is better than the other. However, there are situations out here that needs to be addressed and touched that plaguing our community as far as the dating scene. And you're back out there in the dating world. And like we say on damn near every podcast, it's scary out there now. It's not what it used to be, It's just not. And shit, it's really not. I mean, social media, we can blame social media, we can blame Gen Z, we can blame Gen Y. It's so many areas we can go in and point the finger, but at the end of the day, our people need healing. We need to be able to look at social media for what it is. It's entertainment. But now we see that and we second guess the way we were brought up. We second guess the way we truly think and figure, hey, have I been thinking wrong all this time? Maybe I do need a man with 6 figures. Maybe I do need a man that's 6 feet. Maybe I do need a man that's 250 and under, from looking at social media.
Well, yeah,
Listen,
when you
maybe
have
I do
different
need a
situations
dreadhead.
in society, and not just in terms of social media, but in terms of just even the TV shows that a lot of people consume, these reality shows. They give a false notion of what a relationship is supposed to be like, let alone the expectations put upon that man in that relationship.
Right. Appreciate that. Los, you need to come on, man. You need to come on. Strap City in the building. You need to come in the building. So when you see a topic that I'm doing that you can kind of relate to, you and your partners can relate to, hit it up, tag them in it, and y'all come on here and let's chop it up. Inbox me some topics that Strap City can talk about, and let's get it going.
Yeah, let's get it going.
But this dating thing, like my partner's show, the rapper that I work with, I call him like my little cousin. Good dude. hard working, hustler too. And you know, a hard working man that's a hustler is the best you can get with, because where he lack in funds, he have in resources. But a lot of our people, a lot of our women don't see that. And when they looking at this 6-figure dude that they saying that make 100,000 a year, some of that 100,000 are resources. They're not, you know, they're not adding that in. They don't understand that that's figured in through that. And like I say, man, I'm gonna say 2010 easy. And those who know me, 2010, 2011, probably a little earlier than that, making 6 figures wasn't nothing. $100,000 a year wasn't nothing. I mean, I was throwing parties like and getting $500 to $700 in there, $10 a head. And if you throw 3 of them a month, that was nothing. Nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so that the 6-figure thing, I never thought that it would be a you must have type deal. And then another woman said that it depends on how you look, how much you should request.
Right.
How much you should seek, you know. And looks are overrated now, because like I've been saying since this podcast began, you can find a pretty bitch on any corner now. They used to be rare, but with all the fillers and nip tucks and all this that they're doing now, you can find a pretty woman on any damn corner now. So beauty is really not what it used to be in worth, in value anymore.
It's not. And that's what it's coming down to right now is value. And what, you know, and not value in the traditional sense, but value in the sense of how much value people place on themselves. And that reflects directly in who they choose to be around. Now, here's the thing. Maybe we just got some overvalued people out here. Maybe we got some people that's overvaluing themselves because how you gonna require, you know, how you gonna require a 6-figure type dude and you busting it down to Dollar General? You're not even in the arena to meet somebody like that. So if you're not even in the arena where you're gonna come across 6-figure type folks on a daily basis, you're doing it wrong anyway.
Well, and two, what they have to realize, women have to realize, men that makes the 6 figures, men that's comfortable in their financial bracket, they can pick and choose who they want.
Right.
And a lot of them are not choosing a woman of lesser value. You're not going to get the same treatment as someone would with equal or greater value.
Yeah, of course not.
They're not understanding that. They want to marry this guy that you get the, like you say, Dollar General, McDonald's manager.
And not that there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just
nothing wrong with it. We're saying the ones that's saying I gotta have, if you ain't making 6 figures, you can't beat me. Those are the ones we're talking about.
Right.
The job title doesn't matter. It's what you seek, what you're seeking, and what you're turning your nose up to, and what you're turning people down for. That's what we're talking about.
Right.
So
right. And it shows just how little value we do place on each other, that we only think, or the main thing we think of is a person's income, you know. And I posted something on my social media the other day. Once again, I do this every so often, is Chris Rock's talk about men not having any value, that women and children are intrinsically given value, yet a man is only shown value when he's providing something.
Man, you know, I'm gonna break that down because I want to do a whole show on that. I don't believe that. And turn your volume down a little bit, George.
All right.
Okay. And he said the new dating today is very complicated because it seems everything is based off money and what you can do for them. It seems selfish, if you ask me. Yeah, and it is selfish. It should be a volunteer thing, but I'm gonna get back to what George was saying. Hold up. Men are valued. I mean, men are only loved conditionally by what they can provide. Basically, what Chris Rock said, right? if the only person that's loved conditionally are children and pets, I think he said, and that a man is loved by according to what he can provide. Okay. And I kind of disagree with that when men walking around saying that. To me, the man who says that is a man who had to pay for it. A man who had to beg a woman and give her money. You know, that's how I feel about that statement. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but to hear a man say I'm only valued by what I can bring to the table, that's weak. That's a man who I feel like had to always pay for it. He had to pay before he lay. That's just how I feel about that.
But you know why I see that different is I guess because I'm a mental health advocate. When I read that line, I'm thinking more so emotional than financial. I'm not thinking about money. I'm thinking about as far as what is expected of us in ways that are not necessarily fair. You know what I'm saying?
And that's because you in the training and the education of that. But the average black man hears that and feel like if I don't have no money, I'm not loved. I'm loved by what I bring to the table. And that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And for a man to even fall and hold his head down and think that, because I hear plenty of guys get on there and say a man is only loved by what he can bring to the table because women are hyperbolists by nature. You know what I'm saying? We understand.
Yeah, that's not true.
They know who to play the hyperbolist role with. You get what I'm saying? The stuff that I hear a lot of these guys saying they had to pay this, you can't be with me unless you pay this bill and all that. I've never been approached by no crap like that. And never will. They know who to put that on. And back in the day when I was running the road, running the streets, Jap and I got this other DJ partner of mine named Jap. And they'll tell you, they would see a lot of women trying to get at us or talking about us, but they'll go back and tell them they ain't gonna give you nothing. We wasn't tricks, never was tricks. And this is in junior high school, junior high, in early college and out of high school. We wasn't labeled as the one they're gonna go to and get nothing. You know what I'm saying? If anything, they're gonna bring us something. Like Jab would be at the shop cutting hair and he'll say, hey, go buy he'll tell the girl, hey, run up there to Johnny's and give me a 10-inch, and the girl buy the pizza and bring it. I would be DJing and say, hey, go by the liquor store and get this and that. They bringing stuff if they want to be at our presence. You get what I'm saying? So I didn't relate to all that pay before you lay and all that stuff. No, sir. No. Love by only what you bring, what you can provide. No. That's a man who believes that is a man who has lower self-esteem and he's used to buying things and then the woman eventually gives him some.
Yeah.
That is,
well, like I said, just to draw the distinction, I'm speaking for more in terms of an emotional mindset, the extemporaneous things. So yeah, but I definitely see your point. Fall along where you're thinking in terms of the financial part of it. I've never been approached like that either. It would not tolerate being approached like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just No.
I mean, and we had a heated discussion on here one time talking about that. Because Austin said sometimes a woman just wants someone who can listen to her and provide emotional support. And the other guy was like, emotional support, then you better come with some money because emotional support ain't gonna get it. But that independent woman who has her own, she ain't looking for nothing from no. You know what I'm saying? So it was a big argument. Big argument. He's like, you come with that financial support crap if you want to. You need to come with some money. And he was like, nah, all women not begging for money. And they know who to do that to, man. On the cool, just like all these videos out now is like a woman makes time for who she want to make time for.
Mm-hmm.
If you calling her and she always busy, let me hit you right back. she's stringing you along. But when she wants that who she wants, she calling them and blowing their phone up, and they like, damn, I keep calling.
Right.
You know, so that's crazy. Now,
Right.
I've heard you. I've said, Austin has said, previous other hosts that came on here and guests and said they don't want to date a woman with kids.
Right.
But back in the day, with our fathers and grandfathers and great grandfathers, it was an honor for you to step up in someone else's household and provide, protect, raise, and take care of that child. It was praised. It was praised. You know, my dad even used to pick up guys in the neighborhood who we were friends and cool with and take them to the wrestling. You know, it was just a thing that men did back then as a badge of honor. And now you're a simp. If you're a step parent, you're a simp. So that's what pushed, I feel, a lot of Gen Y. Well, I'm gonna say Gen X, Gen Y, and definitely Gen Z ain't trying to take care of nobody else's kid. You know what I'm saying?
What they're doing is something, but they don't know how they're going about it. And what that is you know, that's still a badge of courage. I mean, I told you about my past 6 years. You know what I'm saying? And I raised kids and I love them and all that. And but it's complicated. And I'll get into that further later. But a lot of it is they're just choosing not to go that route. They're just choosing that for themselves, and that's people are choosing themselves more to pursue their own ambitions, their own dreams, and sometimes that doesn't mean that you can accept a family or you can carry that at that point in time. So it's complicated nowadays, and people just feel like they have more options and choices, and they're just choosing what's working best for them.
And I'm gonna tell you what I tell people though. I understand all that, you know what I'm saying? And I understand that. And my thing with it is growing up, we all wanted these perfect lives. Just like we say we're gonna graduate high school, you're gonna go to college, you're gonna get out of college, with a 3.5, 4.0, you're going to get this job that's paying the top, whatever the highest cooperative market wage, and you're going to get a big house, get married, have a nice fancy car, picket fence, maybe a dog, have you about two kids, a boy and a girl, and you're going to live this perfect life. But then when you get older, you realize that life is not a script. It's on the fly because anything can happen at any moment. Okay. But so I used to say I never wanted a woman that had kids because growing up, listening to mom preach to sister about how women are, and if you have a baby, I'm not rocking it.
Get your charge out when you get changed. You ain't gotta do it right this second.
Let's see. Hold on. I'm trying to get back. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, hearing all the negative talks about a woman bringing a child in the world, and how when my mom then was in school, they separated them from the regular classes.
Right.
When they were pregnant, they sent them to another, we call it a pregnant school.
Right.
So it wasn't for everybody to see. So they were more of a shame, kind of like the Scarlet Letter type.
Right.
If you got pregnant. Okay. So I always said I never wanted a woman, who had kids. And when I would see a woman who was pregnant, I would turn my nose up and turn away, no matter how cool I was with her at one time, no matter how attracted to her I was at one time. But once I see that baby bump, that was a wrap. Oh, she's forbidden. You get your cross. you how bad. And so I was on the phone one time talking to one of my partners, and I was downing. My mom overheard me downing a girl who had got pregnant, and I was like, "She ain't this, she ain't that, and I wouldn't do this, and da 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 da." You know, I'm talking bad because I'm thinking I'm by myself. You know, just running my mouth. Probably was about 18, 19 years old, and then if that, I probably was still 17. But anyway, mom overheard me and she opened the door and she went off. Don't you never let me hear you saying this and that and that and that. Then she broke it down to me.
Right.
And she said, I could meet a female, you know, because after the one thing about my folks, once they got on me about something, they explained to me on why. You get what I'm saying? So it wasn't no just because I said so. So she broke it down that because she had a child, you know, just because that woman had a child, maybe she dated someone who lied to her like they was going to be together forever and he was going to be there, blah, blah. You my life, you my world. She opened up, she give him, you know, they make love, a baby, you know, they have sex, a baby is formed, then he runs off and leave her, okay? Let's just say she goes through that, she raised a child 3, 4, 5 years old, she meets somebody else, they sell her another dream. I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna, you know, it's us, you might ride or die. She opened up to him, she gets pregnant, and then he jumps up and leaves her. Now she has 2 kids. Does that make her a bad person like I thought? Once she broke it down to me, I started seeing it a little different.
Right.
And that's as that aspect. Okay, now that was at the beginning of dating, 18, 19, getting ready to face the real world. That was my mindset.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So
well, I think, you know, what a lot of it really comes down to is, especially with me personally, is, you know, what is your reason for not wanting to date a woman with kids? That factors into it, your individual reason. And I'm not talking about because she got kids or anything like that. Not something that obtuse. But, you know, is it because you at a stage in your life where you're trying to grind and you don't have that emotional commitment to make? You know, maybe, are you in your 20s? Are you in your 30s? Are you in your 40s? Are you better quick in your 30s to raise kids as to where now you in your 40s and you thinking, I can't do all this. Then it also depends on what you endured in doing that the first time. Did you have a lot of baby daddy drama? Was it mess with the family? Was it mess with her? Was it mess with the kids? And that can temper our feelings as far as being co-parents or step parents and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff to go into it, a lot of stuff to break down.
So it's deep. It's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. But we gotta start unpacking. That means being honest though, being honest about our feelings about why we don't, you know, what's our reluctance in dating a woman with kids? Because by no means am I saying you should not date a woman with kids. It just may be for a certain individual at that point in their life, that's not what's best for them. You know, maybe they got other things going on. They know they can't commit emotionally, or maybe they have some trauma from a past relationship where they can't deal with. You know, and I'll be the first one to tell you all as an advocate that if you have trauma and you're aware of it, you should try to deal with it and get over it. But sometimes those things, especially in terms of relationships, become barriers, boundaries, and non-negotiables. And if a man chooses not to date a woman with kids, then you know what, he shouldn't do so. He should not lead a woman on that has kids. You shouldn't do that either. But you know, he should just be honest and transparent.
Women are saying, why do they have to settle for men that have children? You know, the men can have them, but we can't. Hey, Austin, you echoing a little bit. A little. But
is that any better?
Let me see. I'm still hearing a slight echo. You hear the echo, George?
Yeah.
Say something now. Austin.
Can you hear? I mean, is it still there?
Okay, is that better?
He's still echoing.
I'm still
Oh,
echoing.
okay.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna turn George off. All right, I got George muted, and I'm
Okay.
still hearing it. Now I'm gonna unmute George, and I'm gonna mute you, and then I'm gonna get George to say something. George, say something.
I'm right here.
Okay.
Right here. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right, Austin. Yeah, we still hearing the echo.
All right. Let me come back in.
All right.
All right.
Now, I'm saying, like you say, we've all dated women with children, and I preach though, when you meet someone, especially when you're 30 plus, hell, it's hard to find a female that's 25 or 30 that don't have a kid. So
Right.
your choices are going to be very limited.
Very, very limited.
Right. So I'm like, so when I'm preaching to these guys, I'm like, I get it. When you're settled, like you say, when you're in your 40s and you've been there, done that, I can see you saying, man, I wouldn't mind talking to Keisha, but Keisha got 3 kids, man, and I'm just not really equipped to do that anymore. I done raised mine, I done helped raise
Right.
2 or 3 other families that weren't mine.
Right.
And I'm burnt out on the raising kids that's not mine. Now that's a
Right.
different type of category right there. And I respect that.
And that's where I'm
Yeah.
coming from. You know, this my camp. So yeah. Hello? Oh.
Yeah, hold on. This thing ain't got none of my videos. This thing been tripping lately. Hold on a minute. I'm gonna have to load these things up right quick. So
Okay.
if I get cut off, you just take over. But Austin
All
will
right.
be back. So I'm gonna okay. As long as it let me do that, we good.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, so these guys running around here looking for somebody to date and hollering they don't want a woman with kids. And I'm like, now it's a crime if you 35 and you meet somebody that's 25, you're a pedophile now. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
but
saying?
yeah, but I interject by saying this too, since I'm out there in the dating world. A lot of the things I see, a lot of the women I meet, they really don't want a man with kids.
Right. And how you get around that?
Well, this is why a lot of them are going after older men, because most of if they got kids, they empty nesters at that point. So that's why a lot of
Yeah.
older men get approached by younger women.
All right, Austin, you hear where we at. Sound like you clear now, but you hear where we at, man. It's crazy with this the I don't want nobody with kids. And even
Well, I'm gonna go back to what you were saying earlier. It sounds like people need to start making better decisions about people that they're dating and choose to
procreate.
procreate with.
Right.
So that's why if you're one of the people that believe in marriage, then that's why you should wait to have kids until you're married. But that doesn't necessarily mean that that person's going to stay with you, but it's a
Right.
better possibility, a likelihood. So you have to do better vetting of the people that you're dating and learn that your body is not just used for a playground, financial gain, personal gain, because there are consequences that come behind those things if you're, especially if you're not being responsible. So with that being said, there are women out there that have these kids by fathers that are no longer in their lives, or fathers that have gone to jail, or whatever it may be. So a lot of people don't want to take on that financial responsibility and see it as a burden for them when entering into a relationship with a woman with kids. On the reverse side, men with kids, they have their financial burden as with it being child support, or some of them may be deadbeat dads, if you call, if you will. So why would you want to be with someone that's a deadbeat dad? Um, so there are a lot of caveats to that. So do you just date? Do people with kids date each other? Is that the answer to it all?
That's what
Um,
they're saying. Um, that's what they're trying. But like I say, it's a thin pool out there. But
yeah,
and like I was saying when you and I was talking about it, the reason I think it's a bigger thing for a man to date a woman with children is both of them, of course, have to accept the package. It's a package deal. But that woman, 8 times out of 10, is gonna be there with that child compared to that man. May not. She probably never see his kid. And George, lower your volume a little bit.
All right.
Cause you're okay. But yeah, the man don't have to be with the child. The woman does.
well, and again, yeah, that's true. And but I think it's more of a pride thing with men, if I want to use pride, that I don't want to see the other dude, especially. I mean, if the kid, I mean, the father's in the kid's life, I don't want to see the other dude that was smashing on my girl. I just don't. I just, I mean, I've dealt with that before, and it wasn't truly that bad, you know. But that's just something I don't want to be reminded of on
Yeah,
a daily
what's up,
basis.
man? What's up, man? Woman, the man. At?
Yeah, I mean, after a while, it I mean, it wasn't an issue in the beginning. I felt some kind of way, and so I understand how some people may feel with in an immature state. So I had to grow to realize that everybody got a pass. You know what I'm saying? If you're not just dealing
Yeah.
with a virgin, somebody done been inside your girl, and sometimes it's quite a few people. So you have to,
But body counts don't matter. Body count don't matter now. Let the women tell.
yeah. That's
But
what
I think
lust is lust
one
is
factor that
women.
we may be overlooking is, I think now this is
Jordan,
what
you're
I'm
perfect
noticing.
right there. Whatever you're
Okay,
doing now, you're perfect.
all right. The one thing I'm noticing right now, at being out here in the dating world, is that women are real quick to introduce their kids to you. And not saying on no, we not talking on no, on no creepy stuff, but we saying in terms of it. A lot of times, it's almost making me uneasy. How quick they ready to ingratiate you into the fold, and can you come meet my mama? We have a family gathering, so close off the rip, and it's like you're not even sure if you even like this person yet, and that's
They
a
do
lot of pressure.
they do that to place pressure on you because they want you to be like instant grits, post some water on and you done. You know what
Right?
I'm saying? But they
They don't
want
understand
you
that's a
to bring
process.
you, yeah, they want to bring you into that family and make you the
It,
instant father and make you the
is
instant
it
husband.
when they do that? You think is it genuine or is it because of hurt and I'm just tired of being alone? Is it more of
No,
a tired of
Man,
being alone?
I
oh
think
man, it's so full of trauma and shock stuff, man. We could be talking about. We can do a whole series just based off what I seen, the reason why, and the different factors. And man, it's been. I mean, I'm glad I'm finishing up my degree in clinical psychology. Just I could write a dissertation just on it and my experience today.
I think a lot of it is, um, if they find someone that they feel is a good candidate, then they want to automatically grab a hold to that and pull it in
So you're
so
saying
you
it's
can trap
genuine.
it.
You think it's genuine.
I think it's genuine to the point where
they just want someone there to fill whatever void they need to be filled.
Yeah.
So
But this woman here, and at first I felt some type of way, but we feel like this to a degree, especially you. When I heard her, I thought of you. This woman here, this is your thinking right here. This she in your head.
Men dating single mothers comes with a bunch of problems. As a sister, I would never want my brother to date a mother with a child. I really think that once you have a kid, you've kind of made your bed, you should lie in it. If you get lucky and find a husband, that's great, but you're kind of donezo. Like, honestly, I really don't think you should make a child with a man and not marry him. And I think you should never leave if you have a kid with someone.
And that's similar to what you've been preaching forever. They need to think about who they laying down with. They need to be who they procreating with.
yeah, I agree with her on most of those points except for the leaving part.
Never leave, right?
No, you leave if you need to. You take care of your child however you need to. Oh, hey!
What? Who stepped in the building, man?
What up?
Chanel done crept in the building. What's happening with
you? You in a month of Sundays.
I know it's been a month of Sundays.
Yeah, my girl be busy now, so I let her. She busy, so she come around with.
Sometimes it be lifing, sometimes it be entrepreneuring, all that.
Yeah, we letting her do all her grind, and then when she ready to fit us in, she gonna give us a call. So I'm just sitting back.
Yeah, that's what's up.
What's up, Sid?
Yeah, just chilling, bro. Just chilling.
Now I brought you up earlier because on the intro you had stated that in your 20s you never really wanted to date a man that had children. And so we were just going back and forth on why wouldn't what's the disadvantage of dating them, and then I was just saying that men a lot of times, and I know you probably have to deal with, women probably have to deal with the baby mama kind of drama.
I was trying to avoid. Everybody that I saw that had a baby mama, there was too much drama going on, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with that because people don't know how to end the relationship, take care of the kid, and not still be overly involved, or or it's always some, especially if if the breakup wasn't mutual. And I tell people all the time, the only time you can be friends with an ex is if the breakup is mutual, right? And often those situations are not mutual breakups, and so
no closure.
But so baby mama's still acting a fool, or he's still attached in some way or something like that. So I was like, no, thank you for that. No, thank you for that. Let me find somebody that my first is his first.
A lot of people always think that those two people always have this sexual chemistry that they keep coming back to each other and all those type of things.
I said that too, man. When I hear somebody say that, it once the first baby daddy can always go back, or the first person that hit the one that busted cherry can always go back. That's bullshit.
Bullshit.
Yeah, but I was watching Paternity Court one day, and this dude, he was married. Well, no, he was getting married. He was engaged to this other lady, and during the time of their engagement, he had 5 kids with his previous girl. So they were there because they were trying to get paternity test on the last 2.
Okay.
So he was still continuing a relationship with his ex, the one with all these kids, and actually all 5 of them ended up being his. So that means that he was sleeping around on his current fiance
with the
ex. And so the judge was like, how long are you gonna let this go on?
Right.
Who who's gonna move on? Either y'all
Right.
gonna move in, y'all gonna move together, or
Together,
y'all
right.
gonna move apart.
Right.
Right.
So, in some cases, it is true where you just can't let go, and like Chanel was saying, that when the breakup is not mutual,
Mm-hmm.
and there's always somebody else trying to hold on, so
Yeah.
they do whatever they can. So, and sometimes in vulnerable moments, you fall back into what's familiar to you.
Yeah. It was comfortable.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes
if you have a
familiarity,
situation, I'm sorry.
and sometimes you can fall into a situation where familiarity breeds contempt, and
And
it
most
needn't
of
be
the time it
that
does.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it ends up that way, and it really doesn't have to be. Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe you just need to give yourself to the fact that maybe whatever grieving process or whatever it is you're going through, is taking a little bit longer.
Right. Right. And what happens is people, I mean, grieving hurts. It's
Yeah.
painful, right? So to alleviate the pain, either I either hurry up and jump into bed with somebody else, or I continue to go back and forth to alleviate the pain.
Right. Or
They say that.
and speaking about alleviating the pain, there's also this reason why a lot of men won't date a woman with kids, because they may have formed bonds with the kids and really felt like they were step kids, and really have had that ripped away from them, and they don't want to go through that
We
again.
had an episode like that a while back, didn't we?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it got kind of
It got
crazy.
hot.
We lost the co-host because of that. But they say, Chanel, going back on what you were saying, they say the quickest way to get over somebody is to get under somebody else. Huh?
Yeah, but
So
you never heal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
You
what they do.
temporarily,
But
you still got to go through the grieving process.
Yeah.
You never
You
go
know,
through grief.
that's
You got to grieve.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
like people saying trying to fill their emotional voids with material things.
Right.
The void is
Same
still
Right.
gonna be there.
We're still there. It's only temporary. It's only temporary.
just
And
like
we all do it to an extent. The thing is, try to refill it with something positive or beneficial.
Right. Right.
With something healthier.
Yeah. Because I listened to her Regina King on a interview, and y'all know she lost her son, and so she made a statement that grief is love with nowhere to go, right? So I deposited that and figured, like, if grief is love with no place to go, then we need to find a place for it. So that means pouring yourself into something else that's positive, right?
Right.
Anytime I lose someone or something, then and for me, my jam is helping other people, right? I'm helping other people. I use it in therapy sessions, like whatever my trials and things are and all that. So for me, I'm like, how can I use this to help somebody else? So that love is going to be poured into another place and used to help somebody else.
Right.
I know the greatest foundations have been founded because somebody lost their son, somebody lost their daughter, somebody died of cancer, whatever it is, it's that grief, and they just found a place to pour it, and that's what helped them get past it. But if you have to leave a relationship, part of your grieving process is to be able to look at that situation and say, what did I get from it? How did I learn from it? How do I move forward with the information I got from that? I mean, it was temporary. It was seasonal, but I was supposed to get something from it. If you don't get nothing from it, then what's the point?
My thing that I learned going through breakups that I tell a lot of people, you have to, like you say, find some type of closure, and at the same time, wean yourself off that person. If you're used to a routine, used to seeing them, that's why a lot of them run back. Like y'all saying, they run back to familiarity. But you have to wean yourself off that person.
Right.
And
that's hard when you got kids with them, because you got to look in their face.
Yeah.
You got to talk to them.
Well, once you wean yourself off of them, it's easier to look them in their face, and because no more ties, it's no more
intangible senses. Though, what does that look like to wean yourself off of somebody?
That's like where you can. I always tell them, if you can picture that person holding hands, hugging, kissing, or whatever with somebody else, and it don't bother you, then you're ready to 100% move on. There's no close. You like, if you can say, hey, let me help you find somebody. Like Austin and I, we break up with people. we didn't already, we've grieved through the relationship where when it gets to that saying goodbye part, we were pretty much cool, and we'll say, hey, I met somebody who da-da-da-da-da, you know, and we trying to go, you need to stop playing. But we seriously be over, and we can be cordial and cool. But if you just get mad, F you, and then y'all break up and throw stuff, he caught you, he caught you cheating, you caught her cheating, or whatever, however y'all broke up, F you and they left. A lot of them, I'm gonna say over 70% of them run back to the relationship. And I was like, I would never be one who goes back. And that's why I told y'all, if I have to wake up every morning, go in the bathroom and cry for an hour, I'm gonna do that because I just can't see myself going back. But to keep from doing that, through the relationship, they keep doing what I don't like, and then when I get to the point where I'm tired, and I say that all the time, I'll tolerate a little for a second, but when I get tired, I know how to leave.
Right.
And so you have to, if you don't wean yourself off of them or get that 100% closure, then that's man, when I seen her, I went to go pick up the kid, man, she was looking so good, man, I almost asked her back. You ain't ready. You ain't ready.
My grieving period lasts 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We know.
And everybody's grieving period is different. Everybody's grieving process looks different. You know what I'm saying?
You was about to say something about something was called something? What
I'm talking about when you still in the throes of that feeling when you can't, when you can't even be around the person. That's nothing but passion. You know, that's all it is. So you still wrapped up in that. And like I said, for some people, they can get unwrapped in 30 minutes or less. Some people, it may take them 30 months.
Right.
Or 30 years.
Some people it's out in 30 years. And some people just never do it at all.
That's true.
So,
that's unhealthy.
Right. It's unhealthy, but I mean, folks don't do it. You know.
Yeah.
We do unhealthy things every day.
And then again, that's where all these murder suicides come in and things of that nature, because you become obsessed.
Yes.
It's no longer, your feelings of love, your love and passion has become obsession. And you can't let this person go, and you can't let them be with anyone else. So that's why a lot of people are terrorized after their relationships.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I be telling them, like, I know couples now that's still together that don't like each other. And I was like, he don't want her, and he don't want nobody else to want her. And vice versa. And they stuck in their relationship. He started cheating. She slip out and cheat every now and then. But they still happy together on social media when they at card games and their little house parties drinking. But, it's like, everybody know who she's seeing, they know who he's seeing, and they just won't let each other go, and it's crazy.
We all known couples like that though.
Right. Black, what's that last clip that you played? I missed the rest of that.
Which one was it?
With the lady that you just played.
Oh yeah, that talk like Austin. Peep this. I mean, she was deep.
Men dating single mothers comes with a bunch of problems. As a sister, I would never want my brother to date a mother with a child. I really think that once you have a kid, you've kind of made your bed, you should lie in it. If you get lucky and find a husband, that's great, but you're kind of donezo. Like, honestly, I really don't think you should make a child with a man and not marry him. And I think you should never leave if you have a kid with someone.
Now, in a perfect world,
ridiculous. That ain't deep.
In a perfect world, yeah, but in reality,
no.
I mean, but like I say, Austin preached, and I agree with what he say. But the reason I say he preached because it ain't nothing nobody can say that can alter what he says about it. People need to be more conscious and aware of who they're deciding to procreate with. We all agree on that.
Absolutely.
But the way the world is today, how successful will that be? Because people change quicker day and night. You got more out there. You feel like you have more options. So it's like, and then the sexual revolution that's out here now. where
Right.
you can just sleep with whomever, and if a condom just happened to burst, and we've all then had little drama stories
They don't
about
use no
that.
condoms,
Right.
Say
man.
what?
They don't use no condoms no more. Them condoms, I passed by the little condom section in Walmart and stuff. They got dust on them. Better use them.
Yeah. Some of
They
them
just
do. Some of them do for real.
they just be, hey, I'm gonna take my chances. I'm gonna stick it. Whatever happens, happens.
Man, that's crazy. So it's like we want that perfect, I mean, and I'm sure majority of us, I know when we had our first, we thought that was our last stop. That was the baby mama, that's the wife, that's the last. But it didn't work like that, And now it's worse because, like, we see in the news, that they killing each other, they killing the child. All this is like recent, like a few days ago.
Right.
And then even if that single mother falls in love with a guy who really don't want kids, she neglects the kid to be with the man. I mean, it's crazy.
Right.
And they kill the kid. They kill the kid. One of them bust the kid head wide open. It's crazy. And this is on the news now, as we speak.
I mean, I know some real world experience that has happened like that, based on my wife's job. So I've seen it for real and firsthand.
Yeah.
Those things happening. So, everybody's not equipped to have a kid.
Right.
And there's so much mental illness and mental manipulation out here that causes a person to, how do you turn as a mother or a father, how do you turn on your child for someone else?
Because
How do
you
you do
never
that?
Folks do it every day.
because
Yeah,
you
they do
haven't
it every
healed
day.
the spaces that were empty before you had that baby or when you had that baby.
Right.
And see, and there are so many people out here, people on the internet that that's out here glorifying their kids having kids out of wedlock.
Well,
What's
that
what's the
that
future
speaks
of this
more of a
child? Well,
yeah.
I'm
That
just
speaks
saying.
yeah.
Go ahead.
That speaks to more of a generational thing. When you
Well,
see instances of that. So, and a lot of this trauma that we're dealing with, a lot of this unresolved trauma that's causing this to happen it's because
generation.
things we have not dealt with.
Yeah.
It's unresolved trauma. So
well, the
until we
thing
start
is,
dealing with that, and that's at the root of most things, then we can move forward in our progress.
Right.
but that's the thing, to break that cycle. I mean, I would not want to continue that cycle. There's no way
Right.
if my
Right.
Right.
son was out here or my daughter having children out of wedlock,
hmm
I just I don't want that for them. I don't want
Right.
them to have
Right.
kids at an
Right.
early age where
Right.
they're immature
hmm
parents. So
hmm
that means that this child will possibly not be brought up properly,
Absolutely.
Right.
so which leads to more issues in the future.
Same
So
thing.
the cycle
Right.
has to be broken
Broken somewhere.
somewhere.
And I think that this generation themselves are breaking a lot of it on its own. It just in discussions I've had with my 19-year-old son lately in terms of his future as far as his reproductive, his reproduction, in terms of how he plans to deal with relationships to fit into his greater goals and ambitions, and a lot of that don't include a spouse or a child.
Right.
So I mean, choices are already being made by members of this generation.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And my daughter is one of them too. Like she waited. She waited and she wasn't interested in none of that. And part of it I think has a lot to do with what kind of parent it is, right? Because I am an open parent. We talk about all the things, a lot of kids go out there and do because nobody's talking to them and being real with them about it, so they're going to find out on their own. Or they're villainizing it or demonizing it and all that. And like, don't you go out there having no sex and all that. And they're like, oh, well, what's sex? I'm interested in that now that you say don't do it, right?
Right.
If you don't.
And one thing my 19-year-old son told me, he was about 8 or 9 years old. He said, "Dad, it doesn't matter what you say. We always look at what you do."
Right. Every day. And that's what kids do. Right. So like if I did not make sex or anything sexual and ill thing in my house. It's a normal thing. People have sex,
Right.
and here's an appropriate age and stage for that. And and it's just educating them, right?
And what
so
you
since
find
it
in
wasn't
appropriate stage? Oh, I'm sorry.
since it wasn't taboo, it wasn't no big deal. There was nothing to go out there like looking for, because I'm telling it all, right? And the same thing with people who don't. And a lot of people are like, well, we don't argue in front of the kids, and we don't let them see us in conflict and all that. But how are you going to teach them resolution if they never see you fight?
Right.
So like there's
Right.
everything you are doing, you are teaching, right? And
Right.
if mama out here sleeping with 15 men, then best believe daughter going that's the norm. That's the norm.
Right.
So,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
My youngest son, I was like, why you don't have a girlfriend? He said, because I don't have enough money. He said, I still stay at home with my mama. So what am I gonna do with a girlfriend? I said, you know what? You damn right.
Make it
Exactly.
sense.
Yeah. He was like, I can't do anything. I can't really take her out on the date. I can't do this. I can't do that. So I'm waiting to I'm financially mature and emotionally mature to deal with someone in a relationship. I said, I'm
Right.
just not
That,
ready.
that boy on the right road.
I
Right.
said, well, your dad, whoever your dad is,
Who your
show
daddy
and
is?
talk to someone.
Yeah. And I mean, just in my advocacy work and talking to young men and mentoring them, I'm hearing more and more of that.
Yeah.
Like I said, my 19-year-old son says the same thing.
I know we think they be doomed to fail, but like these kids they got their ways and all that, but they're listening, they're paying attention, like they being different. They being different.
Yeah, they live in a world where I guess they gotta have they gotta have the money. It wasn't really like that with us.
It's not about the money though. It's not to them. It's not about the money to them.
Yeah,
it's about having a freedom.
They freedom.
It's about not having to make that emotional investment in other people when you don't have to.
Thank you.
It's about being able to pick up and move when you want to. It's not nothing about the money.
Yeah,
the money ain't a factor at all.
You got a baby, then we got to figure out this baby stuff, right? And they're paying attention to the mistakes that's happened before them. They're looking at the state of the world and how it is now. I've been meeting people who don't want kids, period.
Yep.
And
I tried to date a few of them.
that mess up the folks in the economy and all that, but because I feel like that's what the abortion law really was about. There's too many young folks that's like, no, I'd rather not have kids. No, if I do have kids, I'm gonna wait until again I'm much more mature, or I've dealt with my trauma
40.
and I ain't trying to fuck nobody else up because I don't want my kid to have those kind of issues. And so they're at least waiting and exploring more opportunities and all that kind of stuff. So
and Carlos, I think his name was Carlos. You took it down. You have to identify what makes you continue to come back to this relationship.
Right.
Either you need to decide to go ahead and be with this person or not be with them, because what you're doing is you're stifling your growth.
Yes.
There may be someone out there for you or someone out there for her, and you're not allowing yourself to grow into a healthy relationship or allowing her to grow into a healthy relationship because you all keep coming back to whatever that is.
Bringing me back.
Yeah, that whatever keeps bringing you back to her or her back to you, however that goes. And that's something that you're gonna have to resolve.
In 11 years, in 11 years, Los. 11 years.
Yeah, that's
a
11
long
years
time. You might as well. You and her need to do a dinner and say, what are we gonna do?
Y'all need to do some counseling sessions.
Counseling.
That's what I was gonna say.
If you're not doing
individual counseling first to figure out where those holes lie, because there's
sit
something
down and say,
each other
what are we doing?
that are fulfilling each other that's making you go back to. That y'all filling up that space, but that's not enough for y'all to stay together. So y'all need to figure out, if y'all can work on the things that keep y'all apart, or do you need to just make the break and walk away? Because like Austin said, like you're blocking what's supposed to be coming to you next, you know.
And Los, you need to look at when y'all break up or take the break, is she with someone else? Is she seeing someone else? Because it seems like you saying you keep finding yourself going back when you do have that little break. Is she with someone else?
Are you with somebody else?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so I'm quite sure in 11 years, both of them have been with other people.
Some other people.
Yeah, both of them have seen them. But the point I'm making is trying to get him to break the cycle. If every time they break up and she's the first one with somebody, because I know a lot of relationships like that, because women have more opportunities than men.
But that
in a
part
lot of
doesn't.
cases.
Yeah, but that part doesn't really matter. So
that can help him. That can help him go ahead and break that cycle, because
it's not. It's not because he already knows that she's been with somebody else. That's not an issue for him. So what they need to decide is, why are they each other's crutch?
Right.
Because what it appears is every time they break up with someone else, they come back together.
Come back to each other. Right.
So they come back to that comfort zone.
Yeah.
Rather than accepting and moving on.
Right.
That could be
that relationship isn't working.
I take it from him saying, after 11 years, I always find myself going back. And when people talk to me about going back, they more be like, man, I had me a good girl, good woman, man. She was this, she was that. She treated me like this, man, but I'm still hung up on this person. And the other person be living their life, but then they'll go ahead and take a pause on that because this person kept hounding them, and now they back in the relationship. You gonna really do right? And then they back together, and then they split up.
It don't even sound like they keep coming back together in that sense.
Yeah, because he's finding himself going back, and I'm like, that sounds like
going back to her in the sense of you pouring out he attaches his emotions to her. Right, and she attaches her emotions to him, and that emotions boil over into something physical, right? So
and that was actually gonna be my point. As long as they having sex, that's not gonna change. If they have his sex, it's not gonna change. Then they got to be cut out first.
Yeah,
and like I say, the going back, when me finding myself going back, you know, like I say, usually the people I talk to, they don't want to let that person go. Kind of like the relationships you all were saying, where it wasn't no closure, and there's a lot of drama, baby mama drama, or relationship drama, where women don't want to date guys who just freshly got out of a relationship. They be like, "No, I want to make sure you and her through because I ain't got time."
Yeah.
And it seemed like they just hadn't created enough closure. And if he's the one,
11 years.
11 years, man. I just keep saying 11 years. That's a long ass time to keep going back to somebody. And I wish he would get on here or something and let us know how it actually goes, because it could be different ways. Because I see y'all way, but then again, I've seen guys who just couldn't get over the female. You know, that'd be that same guy who's saying, "Hey, you don't have no other nigga around my baby," and all that stuff. So it's just like he find himself going back. Instead of saying we try to break up, man, we always end up back together. When it's a we thing, I see both people. But when one of them say, man, for some reason, I just keep going back to it, bro, you know. And so I'm like, you have to find some way to break yourself from that. And then in one way,
make the decision to stay together. Maybe y'all scared to stay together for whatever reason. And maybe that's the answer, but you need extra help to try to
sit down, talk it over. See what they trying to do, because I would get tired of that, to be honest with you. And like Austin say, that stunting the growth thing, and I feel like time is too short. So even in current relationships, I say stuff like, okay, what we gonna do? Because I really don't have the time. So if you mad and you act like what I did can't be forgiven and vice versa, what we gonna do? Right. Because I'm not gonna wake up every day And I can't be happy because whatever happened gonna go through my mind, and now I'm depressed and down, and then you not happy, and we arguing. Man, fuck all that. What we gonna do? If we need to leave, let's work on leaving. What do we need to do? I'll help you get where you need to go. I'm here for you because we got in this together. So I'm gonna see you out of it, and that's just the type of person I am. What are we gonna do? Because I'm not gonna wake up every day fussing and fighting and being unhappy in my own home. I just can't do it. So what do we need to do? If I need to help you with your down payment to get you another place, if I need to help you move back to your mom's, is whatever I need to do, let me know. Because I'm not gonna, wake up. All that going back and stuff, man. I couldn't do that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Really, what they have to do is they have to start to grieve the loss of the relationship.
Right.
They have to allow themselves those cycles, those steps, those stages in the grieving process of the relationship. So when they can't do that, of course they're gonna gravitate and stick around and leave angry and leave upset.
And I think people don't recognize the importance of the grieving process, and that when you let something go, whether it was good for you or not, you know what I'm saying? Because I know people usually they attach grief to certain things, but anytime you have a loss, you grieve. That could have been no good for you, but you still have to grieve what you thought was going to happen. The hope that you had in this thing, right? Even parents who have children, that's what happens when kids come out of the closet. That parent needs to grieve what they had in their envisionment for this child and their future and all the things, right? And so the grieving process helps you to let go and move forward, right? But
I think I speak for both of us because I've seen him go through it too. With Austin and I. Now, we're not gonna act like we these super, but if we did freshly get out of a relationship and it wasn't 100% closure, we would joke around and try to see, can we get back in and rekindle something? But the first time that person rejects us,
that's right.
We automatically shut down and we shift. We shut down, we shift. Because you can be trying to be like, now we ain't gonna be doing that. That's a stroke. That's why he speak a lot about ego. That's a stroke to the ego when you used to can just go up in there, kiss on her neck, and she taking a glove. And then you go, she was gone now. We ain't gonna do this now. You ain't finna just and this and that and that now. She just don't know. It'll never happen again. That was a and sometimes in that case though, Black women have to set their boundaries and decide, okay, I can't let myself get caught up into the sexual aspect if we're not in a relationship. Because a nigga will roll back in just to get some. So you have to set those boundaries aside.
Yeah, I've never really signed on to that type of thing because number one, if I let you go or we broke up, then 9 times out of 10 within
you're gonna figure she was somebody else.
No. 9 times out of 10, there's always somebody for me that's on the other side. So I'm not.
So you're a pre-griever. You see when stuff ain't gonna go right, and you pre-grieve. That's why it don't take you but 30 minutes.
That's probably true. So,
but I'm saying the initial argument, and then when she say y'all had an argument, and you be like, you'll be on the phone, and be like, well, so that's it, yeah. Well, I'm gonna come over there and get my whatever. You would go over there. And then you would joke around or whatever because you don't think the argument was that serious. And then she'll say, no, we ain't gonna do that. And then that's how we know for sure that it's a wrap. A simple something. Because see, a lot of things that bothers other people that don't bother me. And I had to learn that everybody don't think like me. And it took me shit
forever.
Last year to realize that just because something don't bother me, because I'm joking, it shouldn't bother them because I joke, I clown, but on the same note, I don't know how Chanel feel about what I said. One time I was making a joke and I told this girl, she was on the phone with me and she was saying something. I said, girl, you must ain't took your meds. And I'm just clowning. I didn't know the girl was really on fucking medication. And we don't talk to this day That and we were good friends. But I made that joke. She said, "Oh, so everything funny to you, huh?" She just like hung up the phone, and I'm like the worst rat that ever came out of cat. And I'm like, I was just joking. I didn't know, that you should take it that serious. So I just had to learn that people are just different, and what bothers me may not bother somebody else. What make me shiver may be nothing to nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Let's see what Lo's saying.
What Lo? Yeah, that's what I say. What Lo's saying.
I'm just at peace with myself and love being happy. Just a lot of back and forth over petty things. Okay, that we can be grown and talk about, but it just gets overwhelming. And I really love this person, so it'd be hard for me to be honest. Therapy, bro.
Yep.
Therapy. That's a therapeutic issue.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's gonna help in that situation.
Yeah.
So and don't go on with the mindset that therapy is here to help y'all stay together or build on your relationship. It's help you to make a decision on where y'all need to go, and then after you all and give you the tools to work with whatever decision you all choose.
Right.
Yeah, and actually engage in your therapy. Be active in your therapy. Do your homework. Do what you have to do, and just be present.
Right, because often when people are doing when they're doing and saying petty things or whatever, they don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to communicate their
communication
feelings.
error.
I mean that's exactly what happened with Black in that situation just now. Like as soon as you made that joke, which should have happened if y'all was close friends, is man, that hurt my feelings because I actually take medication. Or there should have been some expression, something that sat y'all down and had a conversation and said, hey, that joke wasn't funny to me because blah blah blah, right? And then you could have had some compassion in and be like, oh girl, I'm sorry. Like I ain't mean to hurt your feelings. I was just joking around. I didn't even know, and then it would have opened up more conversation,
Yeah, she started crying and stuff. And I was like,
one thing in knowing yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am a little different when it comes to grief because things don't affect me in certain ways, whether it's breakups, whether it's death. So I have to ask, how can I support you in whatever grief period is? Because I know that I'm different and I know people grieve differently.
Awareness, yes.
So, and that's where maturity comes in at, and that's where knowing how to communicate comes in at.
Because I have to do that too. And I kind of I try to choose the approach of kind of staying out the way, because that's how I want people to do me if something happened. I really don't want all the big long face and putting your hand on my shoulder and, are you okay? I don't want that. Just leave me the fuck alone and let me just get to where I'm coming around you and then whatever. But then you get people that wants, like the wife, she wants people around her. She wants me around her.
Yeah.
And so I have to be like Austin. Well, I really don't know. My family wasn't that emotional. And I lost so many growing up till I don't grieve like the person across the street.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even believe in, I don't even want to go to a funeral because I want to remember how you were when I seen you.
Right.
And that's a big thing. So I have to say, like Austin say, what do you need me to do? You get what I'm saying? Right. And then when you see them crying, if I'm doing that, I don't want nobody touching me. I don't really want nobody looking at me because I rarely cry. Right. But they sit up there, if that's your wife, your woman, your girl, they're crying. You got to go and hug and, and play the sympathetic role, even though that may not, be you, because we're kind of was brought up emotionalist per se. Right. You know what I'm saying? But
the thing is, we can learn to be compassionate enough to be more compassionate without changing who we are.
You have to learn. You have to ask. What do you need me to do? Well, I want you to come in here. And when you see me feeling like this, don't abandon me. Come in and hug me or hold me. I'm like, well, I just stayed away, because that's what I do. And so when you're in relationships, that's why I say when my uncle sat me down, the one who married us, and say, it's no more me, I, my, is we, us, he just broke everything down.
Right.
And then I realized the driver's seat and the role that I had to kind of step in
Right.
that I didn't think of before I did. You know what I'm saying? I know you move
Right.
in, you're together, y'all gonna meet the bill, you got this and that, but not saying F it and leave the house when y'all get in an argument. Not holding the grudge and not talking it out. You know, I was one of those telling my man, I don't think I can do this. I'm on the phone with Austin, you know, but I had to learn. He was like, you need to take control of the ship.
Yeah.
You can't keep running. You gotta take control of this thing. If you're gonna be in this is what you signed up for. It's more than just playing house, is what he said.
Right, it is, yeah.
It's more than playing house and meeting the bills.
Right.
Playing house, having sex, and meeting bills. He said that ain't even that ain't what a marriage is. He said that's not what a marriage is.
It's in the
he was like, it's the communication, it's the respecting each other, it's the feelings, it's the listening, it's the talking, it's the sacrificing, it's the doing without, it's the, you know, it was like, and when he got me talking, I was so drained because he named all the stuff. All I knew is y'all move in together, you meet the bills, you build a family, and you don't cheat. That's all I knew. You don't cheat. Yeah. But it was way more than that. And I've been learning to communicate more, especially, like I say, I always say, since the podcast, Chanel joining it. She heard how effed up I was when she first got on here. We go, my girl and I, we take trips, more trips now. And we talk now. We got television time now. We have movie time now. We have date night. I wasn't doing none of that before the podcast. Now me. I feel like I'm gonna make money. I'd rather make money than go on a date, because going on a date, I'm spending money. So if I'm able to stay on here and I'm making money, I'm doing what I do, we'll take that when we get time. But I learned
if you can't spend it in the way that you like to spend it, if you can't enjoy the money you're making with the person who you love.
Right. And remember, we had that talk. And it was before Austin joined. And so I started thinking, tomorrow not promised. Your plans can always be foiled.
Come on.
So when that loved one wants to do something,
let's do it.
And so and a partner of mine that was down here visiting me, him and his girl got into it. And like I said, I rely on what I've learned. He said she was mad at him. He was down there taking care of something with his dad. His dad going through some things. So he was down there, you know, taking care of things with his dad. She decided to take the trip with him, to be there with him, taking care of things with his dad. So Bad Boys came out. So she was already in a place that she didn't want to be at, straight country, but he was taking care of his dad, so she's trying to support him. But she asked him one day, she said, hey, Bad Boys come out. Can we go see Bad Boys?
Right.
He said, you know what? I don't really feel like going to see Bad Boys. I've been running with Dad. I've been doing this and that. Okay, now, so she been mad at him. She mad at him for like a week. And so he was like, man, I don't know. She just got mad all of a sudden. So when he told me what happened, I said, dude, this is why she was mad. You've been down there a whole week and a half, going on 2 weeks. You've been taking care of your dad, which is fine and dandy, and we respect all of that.
Yeah.
She asked for one time for you to go somewhere with her, one time, and spend 2 hours at a movie. That's all she asked. Your dad was at home. He was with the wife and with the other brothers or whatever. So let us slip off. Since I'm here supporting you, can we at least go do something that I want to do one time? We ain't going to no club or nothing. I just want to go see Bad Boys. Right. He turned her down. I say, dude, you know how many times my girl want to go somewhere, especially the movies? I say, nigga, that's the best sleep I get. I say, I go in there, I say, I watch the first 15 minutes, I go to sleep. The best sleep I ever had. Wake up about 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes before it ends, and act like I done seen the whole damn movie. I say, so it wasn't going to hurt you to just take that 2 hours and just sit and move that. If you tired, he said he was tired. If you tired, go to sleep in the movie theater. That's what I do. You know, but before then, I would have been like, man, damn, Ned, you was down there taking care of your dad. She gonna act a fool anyway. She gonna be mad anyway. She was just trying to find something to be mad about. So don't pay that no mind. She gonna leave that a kick rock. Y'all ain't married no way. You know.
Yeah, I would never deny my wife. Never. If she wants something or needs something, then I'm there to try to fulfill that for her. I don't care how tired I am. I don't care what it is that I'm doing. then I take the time out to meet her needs
Hmm. Right.
because I know that she's going to take the time out to meet mine.
Right.
And so you have to have that mutual affection and affinity for each other.
Hmm. Right.
So if you cannot be selfish and have a successful marriage relationship, whatever it is, even in
Mhm.
friendships, you cannot
Right.
be selfish and have a successful relationship.
Right.
So
Right.
you
And
have
that was
to.
something I really, really, really had to learn because I never wanted to be married.
Hmm.
Okay, so I figured, I had number one trust issues because everybody around me that I thought had good relationships was finding out different. They breaking up, so I was really scarred. And watching mom and pops and them come up, watching what I went through with Austin and that side of the family, marriage I just figured wasn't going to be the thing, for me. So when I got into the relationship, that's why we dated 5 years before the marriage, because I had a lot of things to work with
Okay.
self.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then even when I did do the marriage thing, I still didn't know what it was because I
Yeah.
just figured it was like my uncle said, it's more than just playing house and meeting the
Right.
bills. And I figured she move in, we meet bills and you just don't cheat because that was the big thing. But
Right.
no, like Austin said, it's give and take. And that's what I'd be explaining to people. It's give and take, man. I might want to watch a Saints game
Right.
on that Sunday. But if she has a brunch or something set up, man, I could miss that game for a second. We got highlights now on YouTube,
Hmm.
or I can watch it on my phone. She allows me to watch things on my phone when we're out now
Oh,
too.
okay.
Absolutely.
So,
Again,
so
that's part of the sacrifice. That's part of look.
yeah.
This is
So
what
I'm
he
like
likes.
Austin.
So
At
do the
first,
thing.
I would tell Austin he was, simping and all that stuff. But like he said, with maturity, he matured with the relationships and women way quicker than I did. Because I'm like, women ain't this, they ain't gonna be that. They all good till you catch them. Every woman you with is a
Right.
good woman, man. You got you a good one until you catch
So
them.
you catch
So, so that was my mentality. But
it.
and he used to always be on the phone, man. When you gonna just go on do this and that? When you gonna find you somebody to just settle down with? Man, it ain't about this, it ain't about that.
Right.
And he's like, whatever, nigga, you stay in there, and I'm gonna keep doing this. And hey, man, what hoes at? Man, I don't do that no more. I don't do that no more. Come on, dog. I bet you used to have us line up. Well, you can get with my partner CJ, and y'all can go down to the center now, nigga. I'm trying to kick it with you, man. What's up? Where they at? He wasn't with it. I
You
remember
know,
trying to go to the Neo concert and try to pull him out the house. This nigga turned me down. I had his ticket. He gave his ticket away.
you
Yeah.
know,
So
so Black says what seeing marriage like in our younger years caused an effect on him where he did not want to get married.
Hmm.
And the effect that it had on me, and I had to realize this, I didn't take marriage seriously.
Okay.
I didn't because my thinking was, hey, it's gonna end anyway.
Anyway. Hmm.
So and I got married in my younger immature years. I got
Hmm.
married because I thought it would slow me down. I was being
Hmm.
selfish because I was like, man, I'm really tired of being out here just running through these women like this. And I thought it was gonna slow me down.
Hmm.
It did not because I did not have the emotional ties that it
Right.
required to
Right.
Mhm.
be married to the
Hmm.
people that I was married to, and I was
Right.
not willing to make the sacrifices that were
Sacrifices. Yeah.
necessary
Hmm.
Right.
and be selfless
Right.
with them because
Hmm.
I still did what I did and did what I wanted to do. So
Hmm.
it took me a while to understand that
Hmm.
and realize, what there is spiritually for me and what's given to me had not come at that point because I wasn't ready to accept
Mm.
the person in my
Mhm.
life to
mhm.
be the person that I need to be for them.
Right.
Right.
So once that person
Beautifully
came
said.
along,
Hmm.
then my relationship has been nothing but heavenly.
Yeah.
And that came from him learning from his past relationships.
That's right. Like I said.
He started learning from, because at first we would get mad and go and be with somebody who we know we can get from the, from the job or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But he learned, especially his last relationship, man. And like I said, I speak on that because we spoke so candidly about that last relationship that he was in, man. And I think when he got out of that one, his mind was made up on what he wanted, who he wanted. His mind was just set, like, I shouldn't have left this person in the first place.
Right.
God, if you have somebody for me, he turned it over to the unseen, the creator.
Yeah.
And when him and her reconnected out of 15, 16, however year they disappeared, he looked at it as it was a spiritual calling, because he just gave up. I did my all in this. You knew my intent, even though we looked good on paper, but I still tried to I did my part of it. You know what I'm saying? And whenever I did slack off, God, you know why I was pulling back. So now that this is over, you know what I want. Find me somebody. And he found us. And that's why he speaks so, about this relationship here, because he had given up, like, if she put me, give her to me. And then they found each other 15, 16, however many years later. And now they together, they married, and they didn't have a child. So God, the creator, I feel like it's like, if you didn't think she's the one, I'm going to show you she's the one.
I'm going to show you she's the one, right.
Here go a kid without you even, thinking you were going to even have another one. Boom, there go you a child. Now, what you going to do?
The funny thing about that is I had a vasectomy reversal to have a child with my previous wife. We could not conceive.
Nothing happened.
That 10-year period. Nothing.
Wow.
Soon as I got with,
they go into doctors and everything, trying to check his fertility and hers.
Yeah.
We were really superly trying to do this.
Yeah. And then as soon as I get with my wife,
boom.
We have, and we had what we prayed for.
Yeah.
We had a beautiful little girl with good hair.
There's no such thing as good hair.
Well,
good hair. Okay, what deciphers good hair? I mean,
well, with a grade of hair that
easy to manage.
That's easily.
But what's wrong with the nasty dread?
She got a little ninja hair in there too. I'm just saying.
Right.
But what you were saying, Black, is the very reason that, like, the last lady is ridiculous to me, because it takes time to get to a point sometimes that you are mature enough, that you've grown enough, and sometimes babies happen in between those places, right?
Thank you.
For you to say, oh, once you have a baby, then that's a wrap, like, that's bullshit. That's so much bullshit. Things happen, things happen. And so you should be able to mature, grow. And it takes several relationships most of the time to get to the one that you need to be in, right? And stuff, because we got growing to do. And it's relationships that help us grow. It's going to bring out the good and the bad in you, right? It's going to make you look in the mirror like, I didn't know that I kept a wrinkle in my forehead, right? But it took somebody else to say, hey, you keep a wrinkle in your forehead, like, relax, right? So it's those relationships that help us to grow and mature and get rid of the junk we don't need to be doing, gain some knowledge and some understanding and compassion or whatever it is that you're missing, so that you can be ready for that person. And whoever that person is, if they are your person, whether you got 0 kids or 3 or 5 or whatever it is, if that's your person, that's going to be your person. And they're going to be ready and willing to take whatever comes with you. You know what I'm saying?
I think this is what she was saying.
That's like, what do you mean?
What if he had 2 and 2 baby mamas?
If he had 2 kids, he had 2 kids.
All right, that's thorough.
Oh,
that's gangster.
That's
if he had 2 kids, he had 2 kids. But what I will say is, like, I do prefer that a man have no kids, because I want to have that first experience with you, because I don't have any kids myself.
Experience together.
Right? Yeah, I want to share that. I think that is, like, very special. But if I were to love you and fall in love with you, and we decided we wanted to grow and build together, and you have 2 kids, you have 2 kids. I'm gonna love them and take care of them and treat them like they're my own.
Now, a lot of women think like her that don't have kids because there's so many men that have kids that have them at young ages, 14, 15, 16. And so the chances of her just finding one that don't have any that, you know, in the 20s and early 30s is going to be kind of, you know, that's why she did close the idea. That's what I liked about her. She did close the idea. And even many women that even have kids, when they meet their person, they still particularly don't want their person to really have kids. They prefer that person don't have kids, especially if they're trying to have a kid with that person. You know, it may sound selfish, but I know quite a few women that was like, you know, well, yeah, you have kids, but I have one, but I just prefer that you didn't have any. So when we have ours, since you're that person, that it just be our kid, you know. But
and personally, I think that's the immature person who expects something of somebody else that they can't provide. You know, because if you already have kids, then you need to be open to somebody else.
Well, like I said, kind of like she said she do, but she would prefer, that they did. So she left it.
One thing she threw out there was that experiencing having a kid together.
And that was me too. I was like,
together. But the thing is, the experience is going to be different,
right?
Whether he already has kids or not. His experience of having a kid with you is going to be unique to you all in your situation, because his love for this new kid has nothing to do with his love for his other kids or vice versa.
Exactly.
Yeah, but women don't understand that.
Yeah.
We understand that.
Which I don't know why they don't understand that, because that's the same concept of saying, oh, well, I have 3 kids. Each of those experiences were wonderful and different. You know what I'm saying? So like, even when you have multiple children yourself, like each experience is a different experience, and it's all love and beauty and all the good stuff or whatever. But it's still a different experience with each kid.
So, you know, so when people, I mean, this just popped in my head. So what you're saying is you want to have this experience, this new experience with this person, because y'all, it'll be both of you all not having kids before, but you'd had 20 dudes or 20 chicks. So
body count don't matter, man.
No. I'm not even talking about the body count. I'm talking about the experience. You're saying that you want to have this experience, and
unique experience with this one guy.
Yeah, but so why didn't you save yourself? Yeah, why didn't you save yourself to have that experience?
Because that experience wasn't as important to her as the first child experience. It was a different Yeah.
And you gotta allow them that room to experiment. Like she was saying, we gonna jump out here, we're gonna experiment. So if you're sitting around here expecting a woman just gonna sit there with closed legs and until she finally meet this one.
What I'm saying
especially
is
today, they're not doing it.
What I'm saying is you have to open your mind to the experiences that you're gonna have, because all experiences are going to be different and unique.
That's right.
Because everything's not going to be the same. So if you have this concept of, I want this to be my first, I want to experience this, and this is going to be different because it's my first, then why don't you apply that to everything?
I get that. I feel that.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
If she got kids, I don't want to be in a relationship with her.
What the fuck? Your mother was a fucking single mama.
I know. That's exactly why the fuck I don't want to go through that. No more. In no capacity.
Single women can do whatever the fuck a regular woman without kids can do. They ain't no better than us. I mean, they ain't no better than them. Shit. You think you better? You think you better than too good enough to date a motherfucking bitch with a kid and no help, no support? You think you better than her or something?
Bitch, I didn't say shit like that. I think you fucking projected.
And I think you should fucking die. How dare you not be attracted to every classification of bitch that does exist or could exist?
And I throw the humor in there. But the fact when that is, women actually goes off on men who say they don't want a woman with kids.
Mm-hmm.
They you the scum of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
You low. But then I like the way this lady kind of
Have
cleared
to
this
offer
up.
as valuable, more valuable than her. It's like, and y'all try to say and act like y'all value don't drop. It does. It's not to say that you're not a good woman. No. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is you do have to take into account the fact that your value in different categories is down compared to a woman with no kids. It is. So you have to find ways to bring your value up so you could be more valuable than a woman with no kids. It's women with no kids that I'm way more valuable than them in different categories. And it all depends on what that man values the most. It all depends on what that man values the most as to whether he's going to choose you or he's going to choose that woman with no kids. So whether y'all like to admit it or not, I'm going to say it again. It ain't no line of men that's lined up waiting to date no woman with no kids. It's not. And your value has to be, you have to bring more value to that man than she do. And he has to see what you have to offer as valuable, more valuable than her.
Than the woman with no kids. And like she said, it's what that man wants. Because I preach to him all day. All the men that be hollering about, they looking for relationships, but they don't want no woman with no child. It's rare. I understand that, and I don't have to settle for it. If I don't want a woman with no kids, I ain't gotta have no woman with no child. And I understand that. But in that pool that you're in that pond that you're fishing in, how many of them are gonna be like that?
Mm-hmm.
More than you think.
Yeah, because like I said, you out there, so you know more than what I know. But I figure too that the man, let's see, if the child is what you said and left the nest.
Yeah, empty nest.
Empty nest. Okay. The empty nest, yeah, but they still have kids. So
I'm talking about you're still gonna have needs. I don't care how old your kid is.
Yeah, that's still absolutely.
And if you're still an intentional parent, then your kid is always going to need something, whether it's money, emotional. Hey, they may need to come back home and stay. But
now I know a guy now who's going through the kids coming back home. So yeah, you hitting the points.
Yeah, and when that child is grown and living in the house and disrespectful to a man that's coming in the house, you're gonna have two men in the house are not gonna work. That's why I feel like it's best if they're 18. They need to be somewhere, forging their own paths and not up under mama or daddy, because that creates a lot of tension too.
But in today's society, a lot of kids are staying home later in life.
Yeah, because me and my kids have decided to stay in the house together and split bills, right? However, my kids are not completely dependent upon me, right? There's some dependence, but not completely. We have a mature relationship, and I treat them as adults, right? And they are responsible for their portion of the things, right? Not saying if it was a situation, and just like when my daughter had to move back home and she moved there with her husband and all that. At first we was with the intentions of them moving back out and all that. And again, looking at circumstances and life things and whatever, we decided it was best for all of us to stay here and just split this stuff, right? But I'm not gonna have them leeching off of me. Right. And I make that all the time. When they come in, when somebody come in and they want something from me or whatever, like when you get paid, I'm on my money back, like, because I'm not taking care of you in that capacity. You're an adult now.
Yeah, and I'm speaking more of an instance of, the emotional incest, that kind of issue where you have a relationship, the woman has that kind of relationship with her child, and that can be toxic as well.
Well, no, it is toxic because you're supposed to let your kids grow and be adults and teach them how to. The goal is always for them to get out and be grown people, right?
Right.
And a lot of women have emotional attachments, especially to their sons, because they've missed something. You know, it could be a daddy issue. Usually it's a daddy issue that turns into a boyfriend issue. That now this boy is they made them the man of their life.
Yeah,
right?
we had that discussion on here.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, we
some.
did.
I
We
know
did.
somebody that it actually purchased a house with their mama. But
right.
you know, one thing that guys are missing when dating a woman with younger kids, man, if you like cereal and milk, they had the best cereal closets.
Bro,
and
you right like that.
just filled.
Anyway, hey, it did. That's out 10. She on goddamn welfare and y'all eating kaboom. But hold on.
You say it's harder for that woman who have children, right?
Right, for the man with no kids. Yes.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think the man that have kids have a right to expect that woman that has no kids to take care of his kids financially?
No.
Do you think that the man that's dating a woman with those kids should take care of those children that she have at some point financially?
Yes and no, for both. That's the finger up was unless they end up starting a life together. For example, for instance, if she has children and he marries her, then yes, he is expected to take the package. If he has children and she marries him, then yes, she's expected to do her part for his kids.
Agree.
Now I agree with that. Okay, now once you marry, that's a package deal. I do agree with that.
It's all gumbo.
Yeah, all gumbo. Everything in the
package deal. And like I said, and especially that depends too on how deeply involved the biological father is. But still, at some point, financially, you have to
because that's your individual relationship with those children.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how the
They
relationship
can be damn
is
tight with their biological parent, but if you
it doesn't matter.
It can bear an influence.
Yeah.
It can bear an influence.
It bears
Especially
an
if you have messy people doing messy things, it can get very ugly.
It can be.
That's why you have. That's why you have to establish a true co-parenting relationship where everyone in the house is involved, not just the two biological parents.
But a lot of them petty and don't want to do that. We tried that, and the father just didn't want to, didn't want to do that.
Again, that's a maturity issue. That's a personal issue. That's a therapeutic issue, right? Because once that relationship is done and that woman or man moves on and all that stuff, like you should still be able to co-parent in peace. You should be able to co-parent, have understanding and compassion and all of those things. But if you're still holding on to junk or you never worked on your shit, then it's gonna be problematic.
And just understand that getting to that point involves a lot of healing, a lot of therapy, a lot of patience, because people don't grieve and heal at the same rate, or in the same way. So you really have to exercise a lot of patience with yourself and those around you to get to that point. Because I can tell you, I've been through it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna go in there with my wife and child. Don't look at what you're not getting in a person. And what I'm saying is, if a person has kids, don't look at what experiences that you aren't originally getting from that person. Look at the person and how they handle their situation.
If she got kids, I don't.
Go ahead, Austin.
Yeah, look at how they handle their situation. And then make the determination if that person has the qualities that you're looking for in a person, whether
But
they
you have to be willing to look that deep in a person, though.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You have to be willing to look that deep into a person to get
Right.
to that point.
Right.
And that's
And
what I'm
that and
saying.
that's where the disconnect is. You
Yeah,
know.
so that's what I'm saying. Don't close your mind, because you may
Okay.
be closing your mind to
Right.
something that will
And
eventually
that's
be
what
great.
I preach. And I was trying to tell previous people that was on here that.
Mhm.
And also, before you leave, I like what he
And I
said. Speak this.
understand the argument. But to me, it's always about go deeper than the surface. Because if the main argument is you don't want to date a woman with kids because you're never going to be a priority in her life, you know what I'm saying? What else is there? You got to deal with the baby father. You're not going to have the authority, you know, whatever these things are. My way of thinking is, okay, address those concerns. Because if you meet this woman and let's just say the baby father is not an issue at all, she actually knows how to prioritize you, you know what I'm saying? And you're not losing nothing in this relationship. Then again, why would you pass this up? Because you're holding on to this idea that this has to equal this. But that's not always the case. Everyone's different.
And that's exactly what Austin was basically just saying.
Right.
You have to be willing to look deeper than, you know, the surface. So
They got people out there with no kids that ain't shit.
exactly.
Right.
And that still ain't gonna give you time. Soon as Shaniqua
Right,
call,
exactly.
soon as Shaniqua call, hey, I know you want to take me to dinner, but Shaniqua and them on the phone and they going to Barbara and them house party. So they're gonna be over there with May and them. So can we do this tomorrow?
Are they going on?
Yeah.
Are they going on a girls' trip? And
Right,
I saw this one thing where this girl said, "Yeah, when we go on our girls' trip, ain't number two things going on: fighting and fucking." But anyway,
All right.
so anyway, with that,
boy,
thank y'all. I
Get your
appreciate
ghetto,
it.
get your corporate ghetto ass over here.
It was good seeing you again. You know,
Of course. I'll be back in and out. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up. And I will catch y'all next time. Peace.
All right. Let that baby know I keep saying, hey.
I will do that.
All right,
And
now.
hey, y'all hang in there. So yeah, man, his ghetto corporate ass. But that nigga there, man, when I tell you straight hood. And then I like the way this guy said, hold up, peep him. And I like the way he said this.
Dating a woman with kids does not mean that you will be playing stepdaddy. All it means is you got a certain responsibility now to be a role model in that kid's life. If you're not ready to step up, then don't step to it.
So it's time to be a role model now.
Right.
So all that is a simp, and you don't want to deal with this, deal with that. If that mother respects you enough, she's gonna have that child or teach that child to respect you.
Right. Absolutely.
I don't believe in that relationship where the child is disrespectful. You not my daddy, and the mom don't say nothing.
Yeah.
And I see that, man, so many times. And then she'll say, well, technically he's really not his daddy. And I'm like, yeah, but when the daddy isn't around and you guys need the money for him to go to that play, this guy pays the money to go to the play.
Right.
When the daddy's not around and the kid want a PS5 and the dad gets him a Xbox S series and the man in the house bought the Xbox 5, I mean the PS5, shouldn't some type of grounds of respect, you know what I'm saying? And then that parent, that mom, I hate that mom that just let that goes on and it gets deeper and deeper. My brother was actually in a relationship like that because the stepdaughter was closely rooted with her dad. She didn't make the daughter respect, you know, him as being the stepfather of the man of the house.
Right.
You know, and I told him that wasn't gonna work. Because we weren't raised like that. You know what I'm saying? You respect the man of the house, whether they're your pop or not. If they're in the house and they're playing that role of keeping the lights on, the roof over your head, the lights on, the water running in that house, food going in your stomach, you respect that person. And that was whether it was an uncle I was staying with, a brother I was staying with, whoever. It was much respect in that household. But a lot of times the parents are not instilling that in them children, which is why the men don't want to date, which is the most of the percentage why a man don't want to date a woman with kids is because he don't have time to be disrespected, you know, by that child and doing what he don't need to do because he feel like he has to do, you know, because he's dating a mom. Well,
but you know another thing. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Another reason too is that, you know, with kids, when in dating a woman with kids, what also comes with that is grandparents, aunties, uncles, cousins. That's a lot to navigate. You know what I'm saying.
In any relationship, though, kids are not.
Yeah, but kids, no kids, but a lot of guys are just choosing not to deal with none of it at all.
You know,
right?
And because if you
are they? Do you feel like they running Chanel? Because I didn't grow up like that. I feel like if I see a woman I like, and I'm gonna say especially 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if I see a woman I like and she got maybe 1, 2 at the most, and that's pushing it, kids, but I like her.
Yeah.
I was raised in a household, you know, in several households back and forth where the man of the house treated me like son and he had his own kids and vice versa. So I came from that background.
Right.
So I know how to treat a stepchild and call that child my own.
Right.
And I do, anybody that knows me know I do that. But what I'm saying is men are choosing now just not to have that role anymore and focus on their own careers and ambitions.
Well,
they did that back then too, though.
It depends.
They did that back then too.
It's a different world, though. It take a different kind of grind. It take the same grind mindset, but it's
because
so
I'm
many
not out
different.
there. But
it's so many different. Okay, go ahead.
I understand it's a different world, and I can't argue with you because I'm not out there right now. How different it is, Chanel and I, we're not really out there the way you have to be out there. So we can voice our opinion on from what we know and our experiences and from what we hear other people say, because she's a therapist and different people come to me and things I see my brothers and other people go through. But you're actually out there in it and have tried it. So you're going to be a little deeper. So I didn't know it was as bad as you're painting it, because it seemed like it's a simple, they make them respect you and you should be able to move on. I guess that's not how it works.
And there's more stuff to it than that. It's the fact that you meet a woman and, you know, it's almost like within a week or so of talking, she's showing you pictures of her kids, and it's like, wait, slow down. And I think that intimidates and runs a lot of men off too. So women have to be mindful
because she should be taking her time. She should be slowing down.
And see, a lot of women out here aren't
waiting to get to know you first.
Yeah, I mean,
so like, what? Then at that point is what pool are you fishing in, right? What pond?
So you can find women. So there's women out there that's willing to date men that's willing to introduce them to families and settle down. They're not doing that now.
Like you could be saying, you know, you're looking for just a friendship, and it's like even then within a week or two they start talking about, well, we get a place one day. It's like whoa,
okay.
And then you throw the kids on top of that.
You know what, George?
You know, but that's when you need to back out. When somebody approaches you within, I don't know, the first 30 days, and they start talking too much of that, right? And all that. Who to talk about what your goals, ambitions, even when it comes to family, like, you know, well, I want kids or don't want kids or whatever, right? It's okay to talk about those things. But when you start trying to get that person over involved in your life that soon, that's a deficiency in that person that they can't take. They rush it.
And I understand it, but it's a lot of deficiencies out here, you know. Yeah. It's very prevalent.
Let me ask you this, George. It sounds like to me that when you meet someone like that, apparently you're not stepping to who you like. Because if I'm stepping to something I like, and I never really, you know, once I got into serious dating, I didn't never step to something I didn't want. So if I step to somebody that I really want and can actually see myself with or building with, If she come up with, here's the kids, you want to meet this, want to meet that, I'm cool with that because I chose who I think I want to be with. So if you're just out there dating for friendship,
but I'm talking about you just meeting somebody. I mean, literally. I mean, you just meeting somebody.
No,
if you see this,
if you meet somebody, she's not gonna. If you meet somebody for the first time, they're not gonna want to take you home.
Yeah.
I don't think if you meet somebody and y'all just talking at random about business opportunities, and then the next day she trying to get you to meet her folks. Now it may be going like that.
I know they have people out there like that, right?
That's happened to
what
me.
I'm saying, but that's when you need to peace, right? Because
that's what I did.
Yeah, you see what it is, right? You just don't get yourself
Well,
involved.
hey, you know what though? If that's the case, I ain't finna talk to none but women I think I can jail with. I ain't gonna make up no conversation. I ain't gonna give no business proposals. I'm gonna see somebody. I'm gonna check her out. I'm gonna look at her thing. I'm gonna see what she's driving. I'm gonna try to figure out what her bank account look like. I'm gonna make sure she meet my preference on look wise, and that's where I'm gonna. Hey, I got a business proposition. We can do this. We can do that. I can do this. I can fix your credit. Blah blah. Those who I'm gonna talk to, but the ones that I'm not attracted to.
Here's the thing,
I don't speak to women that I'm not attracted to.
I don't never miss business and pleasure ever. If I mess with you,
so how you end up
know nothing
talking
about
to
my
her,
business.
How you end up talking to this person that wants you to meet her kids and her family? Was it business or were you? Huh?
It was personal.
Okay, so don't talk to nobody personal unless you feel like you can grow with them. Yeah,
I mean, also matter. I think what also matters is how we're meeting people as well.
Right.
How you met them?
Right.
So if you're on a dating site or whatever, the dating sites are hard. They're hard because you don't know what's behind the person and their profile.
Oh, this happens with both. This happens when I meet them in person too,
and all that. So like,
how did you meet this one though? That wanted you to go home and
the one. Yeah, you know, Facebook.
You know, maybe you need to leave Facebook dating alone.
Oh yeah, I left it alone. No,
hey, but on the cool, George. And I think Chanel and I have had this a long time ago when we was dealing with my other co-host. The reason that I had so much, I guess, success in dating and pretty much getting who I want, I only went to women who I liked, who I kind of knew would like me.
Right.
So I never just jumped out there and I give me some Google months and I'm gonna just practice some lines on some mud duck and I'm just saying something. No. I'm gonna study a person before even if it's on Facebook, I'm gonna read all her goddamn posts. I'm gonna see how many guys liking them and how many hearts she's putting up on there. And if she skip hearts under certain guys, okay, I know that the guys that she liked with the heart, she kind of like them, and they're probably in the DM. You know, you just gotta study it's a whole studying thing. You know, and then if I see too many and I'm like, okay, that ain't worth my time, boom, on to the next. But it's gonna be somebody who I am, number one, kind of physically attracted to, because if I'm not physically attracted,
that's important. That's the first thing, right?
We're gonna have a problem. Even though people don't want to say that, Chanel.
No, but that's real.
But thank you for co-signing that because people try to make me feel bad.
No,
but I have to be.
You don't approach people that don't attract your eyeballs in some sort of way. They start out as eye candy. Everybody starts out as eye candy.
But people say, like, don't worry about beauty. Is what's inside the mind.
I mean, it is that, but that don't mean that's not the first thing we have. That's all you got right now is what they look like. Right. And so if that attracts you, then you make the approach and you start talking. Now, because I met lots of cute guys that had nothing upstairs, and as soon as they open up their mouth,
and I have to.
Right. So and let me say this too. That's another problem I've run into. These women don't really have no conversation.
Yeah. And you need
their conversation game is real lacking.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest turnoff to me.
Yeah, that's the turnoff.
You can't engage in conversation.
Yeah.
I was dating the first year Obama ran. I'll never forget. First year Obama ran. And I was called myself dating this girl. And I'm trying to talk about you know, the election, the economy, and all that, and the debates. I'm ready to see the debates. She didn't want to talk about none of that. We couldn't talk about nothing that's going on in the world. Everything was just sea level.
Right.
And I was like,
I can't fool with nobody like that.
and it was such a turn
I need to
off.
be able to talk about some of any and everything.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Whether
It was
be
such a
world
turn off,
events
man.
or- yeah.
And everybody was like, you stop talking to her and you turn her away because she didn't want to talk about the economy and what's going on in the world and what's going on in Afghanistan.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, because
I need her to be aware. I need to see her viewpoints and like, because I don't really like talking politics either, but it tells me where a person is, right?
Right,
It tells me what their
right.
belief
And she didn't even
systems
care to
are.
learn about it. She was like,
Yeah.
anyway,
If
when you get through watching that crap, let me know. And I'm
And
like,
that's what's frustrating when they don't want to learn.
yeah,
When
I'm
they
just
happy
trying to
being
talk to you
ignorant.
about what's going on.
Right.
Well, when you get through watching that crap, you know, let me know. I'm finna go in here and lay down. I'm like, so that didn't last. That didn't last at all. And then
No.
everybody, oh, so you gonna let it up? Yeah, because there was no intellect. I'm talking about we could talk about nothing intellectual. Period.
And then you talking about you dating you want to date somebody, or you trying to build something with somebody, or you looking for somebody to build with. Like, how long is like surface conversation gonna last in the long run?
Thank you. That's what it was. This was surface conversation.
You can't have surface conversation forever. You got to get deeper. You have to talk about other things, right? And all
That's
that.
true.
You're gonna spend your life with somebody and stuff like that. So, like, if you don't have that level of, you know, intellectual conversation and all that kind of stuff, then I can't talk to you. I can't talk to you.
That was me.
I didn't talk to a lot of guys because they couldn't carry a conversation, and I got tired of being the only one
I
talking.
remember you said that too a long time
That's
ago.
one thing that got me with him. Like I said, it was
that was what you said.
It was the great smile, and he was chocolate, because you know I like the chocolate. But it was the fact he was able to carry a conversation with me, right?
Without saying, you saying how the other one was texting you, Ebonics.
Right?
You
Yeah,
didn't understand what he was texting.
y'all know the one I really hate that gets me is, what does that mean?
Well, when somebody asks you, what does that mean?
Yeah, when people ask me that for every word, I mean, just common stuff, not even nothing, you know, they just show, and you know, I would think once I tell you what it means, it's good enough, but it's like, I can't stand the people that just happy being ignorant. It's just like, and I count that a lot out here just in society, people that just happy being ignorant.
Yeah.
Where are you located again? Where you live at, George?
Texas.
What city are you in?
Yeah, I'm in Texas, but you know, I don't know. It would happen before I moved here too. You know, back when I was dating a little bit. You know, it's just, I guess I'm one of those people that's attracted to intellect. You know,
Well, that's what Janelle was saying earlier. You got to look at the pool you're in, and you have to have yourself around those type of people. You can't expect to get intellectual conversation from somebody with a 10th grade education that's raised
I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not. I'm. My pool is elevated, but I'm saying even on that level, when it comes to having a real involved conversation that gets beyond the superficial, that's hard to find, because like a lot of people just don't have nothing to talk about. I've been on phone with people, and I have been out to, you know, having coffee with people and ask you, what do you think about all the aid we give to the Ukraine? And they like, huh? They just, to me, that shows a lack of awareness.
It is.
And it's something very unattractive.
Yeah, and that's understandable. But don't talk to him, George. You ain't got to
But
talk
I
to him.
learned too,
I
George.
know. I don't want to get the impression I'm out here languishing at all. I don't want y'all thinking this is a big deal for me.
I told my other co-host this because he said some of the same things, but on the same note, until I learned that everybody's not interested in what I'm interested in, sometimes I let them talk, and then I slowly bring them over to where I want them. I'm not gonna if she fits the mold. She got the looks. She can hold a decent conversation. She's hardworking. She's loving. She's kind. I'm not gonna let that go because she can't reach my intellect on what's going on with the price of oil. With the price of oil.
again,
You know
people
what I'm
are
saying?
product of
And
the
why we'll
environment.
forever be in debt to China because of the gold that,
Mhm.
you know, and I'm not going to leave her because of that.
Mhm.
I'm
So,
not gonna leave her either. I'm not
so
gonna leave
what
her
I
either.
do, I learned to sit back and let them talk
Okay.
because in relationships, there's give and take. So I need to, so I shut up a lot and I
Yeah.
say, let me see where she is.
Yeah.
Where her intellect is. And then
Oh,
while
that's
she's
what I do.
talking and I'm listening, I may find something that she says that I can grab it right
Grab
there
onto,
and
yeah.
show her a bigger, broader,
Picture, yeah. Right.
you know. So
And again, that's a part of building, even friendships, right? Because
Right,
everybody not
right,
exposed to
right.
the same stuff. Everybody don't understand things at the same level and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so if you find somebody, like being your environment dictates, how you come out, how you are, and all that stuff, right? We're a
Right.
culmination of our experiences and all
True.
that. And maybe that person needs to experience something different, and maybe you're part of
You're
that
the one.
difference, right? And all
Right.
that.
Right.
There's probably a lot of intellect there, but they ain't know how to access it. Or maybe they're in an environment where nobody talks about that shit. So
Right.
now
All they
I'm
talk
talking
about
to
is
somebody
hood
who's
stuff.
talking about some extra stuff. And so even though I don't know how to carry that conversation completely, I'm interested in all that. So now I'm sparked to go, explore and learn more and, and all that kind of stuff. So you could be inspirational in a person's life.
And another one, George, that I tell my Muslim partner, he like, if she eat pork, ain't no pork. I ain't gonna talk to no woman that eat pork. And
I remember us
I
having
ain't
that
gonna talk to the woman if she go get a daiquiri and I don't drink. She can't drink no daiquiri and da. So I'm like, I understand the preference.
Right.
And before I became a 5%er, I used to drink malt liquor. I had to have that Schlitz malt liquor and that damn that bull. That bull, I used to turn that bull with the gray with the blue bull on there, man. Look.
Right.
And then when I joined the 5% Nation of Islam, they had that bull bottle that I'm drinking. They sat it in the sun. They let it stay in the sun. Then they opened it up like hours later after being in the sun. It smelled worse than shit. And I was like, they was like, this is what you put in your body.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they taught me. They would take that pork and sit it out there, and then hour later you send a whole bunch of maggots running everywhere, and that's what's in your intestines when you're eating it and it's not digesting. So then I started. They gave me the book Eat to Live, where you just eat one meal a day and you get it out your system. So it's just a whole lot of stuff that I had to learn. But when I walked in there, I was hip hop, Flavor Flav, Ice Cube, turning up the 40. You know what I'm saying? Taking an 8-ball piss. I was doing all that. Until they put me on to it. So when I would meet people, we don't even eat pork today. The wife and the kids, we don't eat pork. I taught them why we don't eat pork.
Educated her. Mm-hmm.
I taught them why. Fish, occasional beef.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But no pork on my fork.
Right.
But he was willing to listen and learn. But what if I said, well, what your mama mostly cook at y'all house? Oh, we eat pork chops, rice, gravy, and neck bones and pig feet. And I said, I can't talk to you then because you eat pig feet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Come on now. At the end of the day, everybody's grown.
Right.
Everybody's grown.
Yes.
So when he says she shouldn't drink a daiquiri, let's just say Chanel had a hard day. She been out there networking, doing her thing. And this is not an everyday I'm finna get
but
drunk.
I need my daiquiri today.
It's not an everyday I'm getting drunk thing. She just wanna. I had a rough day today. I just want to give me some Crown, give me a little Coke, and just relax. I'm gonna go by the daiquiri store and I'm gonna get me a suicide. I'm gonna get me a 20-ounce suicide. I'm just gonna relax.
Right.
Or we'll get deeper than that. It's been a fucked up day, man. I just need a blunt. So I'm finna holler at my homegirl. I'm gonna go over there. I'm finna get this blunt. I don't smoke regularly, but you know what? It's Friday. I done had a rough week. My such and such didn't go through. My business loan didn't come through. The lady said it's delayed. It's under review. I supposed to got the money today to get this shit done. Nigga, I'm finna smoke me a blunt. Roll me up a fat one, Rita. I'm coming over there.
That's right.
And then you go over there and you get that and you just blow and you hold it in and you just feeling good and you just melting out for the moment. No, it didn't make that check go through.
Mm-hmm.
No, it didn't solve any problems, but it relaxed your mental
mind for
that moment to enjoy yourself. So, and like I was telling him,
long pass you up because of that, then that's their loss because you missed out on a good person all because you saw me smoking a blunt on a
Yeah. So I understand it. Now, if it's coming to the point where all she want to do is sit around the house, get high, wake up, get high.
Now that's a different story.
3
right?
hours later, she got to get high, and then she's spending $300-$400 a goddamn week trying to get high. That's a problem. Or trying to get drunk. That's a problem. But every now and then I say, and if they are doing that, explain to her why you don't care to drink. Why you don't care to smoke. Put her on let's detox the body. Let's detox the body and work on our temple. Your body is your temple, and you don't want to defile your temple, so we don't put defiling things in our body. It preaches that. Don't run from them.
Right.
Because everybody is grown. And if Chanel want to grab a drink on Fridays and relax, or through the week, once or twice through the week and relax, and she not coming home sloppy drunk, shit, let me there. Come take me upstairs, throwing up, calling Earl. If she ain't doing that, I'm cool with her getting her drink. And if she want to eat a little pork every now and then, if you in the kitchen, cook my steak until you learn to get off this pork.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? When you get tired of cooking 2 different meals,
right?
You'll come around to what I'm trying to get you on. But you just don't throw that away. My thing is missing out because we're judging a person from their surface. Right. If that person is for you, she'll be willing to work. You don't eat pork. Let me see why you don't eat pork.
See why you don't eat pork.
Okay, you don't want to get high. You don't smoke the weed or whatever. Show me why you don't smoke the weed. Because it's supposed to be good for you because it's from the earth. Yeah, the weed is from the earth. It's good for you, but the stuff y'all getting in the street, that exotic, is not from the earth. They're mixing so many chemicals with that, and your lungs are going to be blacker than the ones who've been smoking cigarettes for 20 years. And you've been smoking 3 years. They not getting it. It's not from the earth anymore, like Chanel dad and my dad, my granddad was smoking. That wouldn't even smell different. It had a different euphoric effect than what they do now. So don't miss out because they're not on the level that we feel like they're on, George, while you're out here too. And I know I'm speaking from a person that's not out there.
It's okay to have your boundaries. You got your deal breakers. There are certain things, if me and Boo together.
But whether she know about the oil,
it would still be there, right? And all that. But you just gotta figure out what you willing to do and all that. And if it's something that's for everybody. Like if it's something that you're not willing, and that's fine if you're not willing.
Right. If you're not willing, just because you don't know about the oil in Ukraine. What I do when I want mine to learn to get on something, I send her I'll send her the literature, the reading, and I'll say, when you get a break and you chilling, I need you to read what I just sent you. I sent you some literature. I want you to read it. Right. So then it may take her 2 days. Sometimes it may take her 2 weeks. Then she said, oh, yeah, I read that. And then I quiz her on it to make sure she read it. I said, did you see when they said something? She said, yeah, da, 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 da. And then now we're on that same level. Yeah. I don't force things on her, but I'll send her certain things that I want her to be on.
You introduce
right. Yeah. And she'll say, and she do me like that too when it comes to female, anatomy. I'm learning so much about thyroids and and all that stuff, everything that can go on with females, So she like, when you get a break, read this. So that's what we do. When I'm just not doing that, I read it, then I catch up on it. Because there's a lot of stuff I didn't know. And like I tell her, I thirst for knowledge. And so I'm gonna send you things that I feel like you should be up on. And she turned me on to a whole lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? She'll be on TikTok and she'll see something about when all those other countries was coming together to create this one currency, and they're gonna cut the US off and all that. And, she turned me on to that because I don't see that, but she gets the news breaks. She get all that stuff. So we take turns sending each other things. Okay. So if it's somebody who meets everything else but lack the intelligence level that you're looking for, let's put them on that level. Because and that's why when people say birds of a feather flocks together. I never really believed in that, and we got in a heated argument one time on here about that. And then Austin had to bring up that Renard, my partner Nard and I, we were hip hoppers to hip hop. We was hip hop. And I'm still, you know, we still are. But we would get high. We would drink. Austin hung with us, but didn't do none of that shit. He was the square one in the bunch. So for people to say birds of a feather flock together, that don't mean he did what we did. Him and I were together because we were some kin, and I brought him into my hip hop clique.
Right.
But the common interest was he was some kin to me.
Right.
That's it. Right. It wasn't him getting high with me, him dancing with me, him making music with me. Nard and I got together, my best friend, because we made music together.
Okay.
I put Austin over in that because I'm with my cousin 24/7. Now I got me a best friend, so I'm gonna merge all together. So Austin hung with us, but he did not do what we did. No, and a lot of times when he see that we finna partake in that type of activity with other people that do that, he'll say, "Hey man, I'm gonna get at y'all," and he go home.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
we get together with the crew that do what we do. We finna drink, we finna get pizza, we finna turn up, we finna turn on the Beastie Boys, and we finna wild the fuck out. And that's what we did. But Austin didn't hang with us. So birds of a feather flock together. I don't really. Yeah, to an extent. Y'all have a common denominator on why y'all around.
Right, but it might not be all the same common threads, right?
Right. Just like you may have close friends that you grew up with that are drug addicts, hoes, not working, welfare recipients, just doing whatever. They ain't trying to do nothing in life. So for somebody to say birds of a feather, they see you and they say, "Oh, good, I know you hoeing because you hang with Kiki." They can't say that because Chanel ain't like that. Chanel on this here, me and Kiki, and that's why I said, and I said this on a previous podcast. When they say, I credit Juvenile for that line in Hum, that song Hum that he got. When he said, "You don't even want to fuck with them niggas, huh? You grew up with them niggas, huh? So you stuck with them niggas, huh?" When he said that, and I actually was listening to his lyrics, that means you grew up with these people. You don't like them. But hell, y'all grew up on the same street. Your mom's a friend. Your mom's a friend, so you had to spend the night at the girl house. Y'all was in the same grade, had the same teachers. When you had to go to a ball or prom or something, you was borrowing her earrings, her dress, vice versa. So your parents made y'all be together, and you grew up together. When you got older, you was like, "I don't even like this.
Right. We
I don't even like her no more. Why did I even hang with her?" But you hung with her because y'all grew up together.
Yeah.
So yeah. So on that note, getting out and dating people, and I understand, George, when you didn't raise your own kids, and it's Chanel too. When you didn't raise your own kids and didn't help raise other people's kids that you done dated, and you get in your 40s, you tired that you get burnt out on that. And you like, I done already raised mine. I done help raise 2 or 3 more, whether they still in your lives or not. I really don't want no more kids. So I understand that.
That's absolutely fine.
I understand that. That's why I say earlier when you said that, George, on your level, I understand that. Because you've been there, done that. And you're not looking down on no woman.
Nobody, not by far.
You're just saying that you would prefer. And you're not also saying that you may meet this beautiful one that has this 5 or 6 year old that meets everything else, and you will be willing to come back around. You get what I'm saying? But your preference, I prefer one to not have one or have an empty nest. And I get that.
So I'm in this conversation with a group of men, and one man is upset because he feels as though his girlfriend prioritizes her kids above him. Now, mind you, these aren't his kids. These are kids that she had from a previous relationship. And here's what we have to understand as men when we get into relationships with women who already have kids. You don't come first. If you want to come first, stay in the relationship there where you put the kids. You come first there. And then when you go into a household with a woman who already has kids, those kids come before you because she has a primary responsibility to those kids. And what you have to understand as well is that if these are her kids that she gave birth to, she has a connection, a bond, and a love for them kids that's 1,000,000 times greater than any type of love she's going to have for you. At least that's how it's supposed to be. And that's how you should expect it. You know what I'm saying? So coming in as a man, you shouldn't feel some kind of way that a woman prioritizes her kids that aren't your kids above you, because you may not always be there. You know what I'm saying? So don't feel some kind of way because of that. She's actually being responsible.
Yeah.
And if our men would enter relationships with that mind frame, now with that mind frame and getting the respect
Right.
from the mother as well as the children. Don't talk to George like that.
Right.
Right. What did you say to him? Come back in here and you apologize to George.
That's right. Yeah.
You don't talk to this man like that, because that's the way you got to that play last week. That's where you went on that field trip with George, because I didn't get paid till 2 weeks later. And your dad, you ain't heard from him in 3 weeks. When you text him, he never did text you back. George gave me that $20 for you to go on that field trip. So don't you never let me hear you respect him. Those the women that you're supposed to be with. But soon as you let that child say you ain't my dad, or you say, hey, go in there and wash some dishes, and that child turn her head and keep looking at TV, you need to get away from that mother. Because if she's sitting in that living room and she hear you say, hey, who night is it in the kitchen? And then she knows it's her daughter's, and then you say, hey, whoever night in the kitchen, they need to go clean that kitchen up. And then that girl sit there because you told her to get in there and clean the kitchen up. That's a problem. So don't allow yourself to be in those situations where it makes you bitter. Get out of it. As soon as you see that disrespect, bring it up to her and say, you know what? When I told Brandy to get in there and clean the kitchen, and she didn't get up and move, it took you to tell her. And you know, and I didn't tell her to do nothing wrong, but she didn't want to do what I asked her to do, and you didn't second that. And if she say, well, you know, she gonna do it, if she make up an excuse, then that's not the woman for you. Work on getting yourself out of that relationship. I'm not gonna stay there till they get bitter and I'm feeling some type of way and I'm ready to go upside somebody's head. I'm gonna get out of it because I don't play. In a minute, I'm gonna bring it up to the mama. I'm gonna say, hey, I told Brandy to get in there and clean the kitchen up. Like if the mom come home and say, why that kitchen not clean? Didn't I tell you to tell her to clean the kitchen up? Yeah, I told her to clean the kitchen up.
But she didn't do nothing.
She didn't do it. But you need to, and if she don't go in there and say, did he tell you to clean the kitchen up? Yeah, I was gonna do it. No. You do what he tell you to do. Come here. She call me in there, and then we break that down right then. If they don't do that, George, don't even waste your time in those relationships.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, respect.
I think your pool is about to open up though. You know, with starting school and stuff like that. You know, you're just gonna be vibrating on a different level and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool. But you know what? It's not even a priority right now because I got so much other stuff going on and work and life stuff. This like maybe 7th to 8th on the list of things I even think about.
Absolutely.
You know, I got real stuff going on.
Yeah. You do have a lot of stuff you're doing.
Yeah, a lot of good, exciting stuff coming up. A lot of good stuff coming up, and I just want to make sure I focus on that first.
Absolutely.
And then if times get too hard,
it's supposed to be for you. It's coming for you anyway. You know?
Right.
And if times get too hard, you know, you always got that funky for it.
When you're dating with someone with children,
people will. Yeah, you're right.
You're gonna have issues with that. When you're dating someone with children, you can show them, hey, this is what I can do. But it doesn't mean you step in being daddy. It doesn't mean you step in because you don't have obligations. You're trying to get to the woman. Yes, the woman and the child are connected. I understand that because do not go off and all this. I get all that. But realistically, he does not owe anything. He did not have that child. That is not his blood child. He's doing this out of the kindness of who he is, as well as because he's trying to get to know you. He does not have to pay for daycare. He doesn't have to pay for little Jimmy to go here, there, or wherever. That's not his obligation. Right. That's not his kid.
And so that's why I say that mother needs to break that down. George gave that to you out of the kindness of his heart. He didn't have to do that.
That's right.
You know, and that's what makes that kid come around. And then you'll notice that kid may come home and have a bag of candy and something and say, hey, George, you want some candy? That's when you'd have made that connection.
Yeah.
That's when the mom said to set in. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So don't get out there. And I know, like you say, it's last on your list, but I also know that it's on the list. So it's something that you wouldn't mind conquering. Yeah. And you're smart enough to know how much time to apply to it. So we're not gonna neglect it. And like Chanel said, she has a feeling that something's good is gonna come your way with somebody because of all the moves, the connections, and the networkings that you're doing. So it's gonna happen. And
places and spaces.
I was just gonna say that you're all around good guy from what I see, and from what Chanel is saying. So it's gonna happen. So just keep grinding and doing what you're doing, and whether she has kids or not, I just feel like your turn is gonna happen, and it's gonna happen sooner than later. I give it mid-fall. You'll be telling us, what you think that it's been pretty cool. But they're out there. Watch see what I say, And Chanel said it too. Chanel said she think it's coming soon too. So when you hear two people that's feeling a vibe through a damn podcast, looking at a screen, that's something different, George. So, but and then you took something tonight. We opened your mind up on a lot of things. So I just feel like you're gonna go out there with a different approach, and it's gonna be when you're not expecting it. Those gonna be the ones.
That's the thing.
And I like the way
you just focus on you, boo. Focus on you.
Focus on you.
Doing your thing and all that. And
it'll come while you're doing your thing. Don't think about it.
Just like it should.
Hey, but George, I want you to go back and play this and watch Chanel when you said Facebook. Look at her face.
Yeah, I know.
You got to get off Facebook.
Yeah,
you gotta find something else. Like I said, it's when you're going to meet these women.
A lot of that was just trying to pick through folks that can have a conversation, and it was just
friends anyway.
Yeah, but go back and look at Chanel's face though. I'm probably gonna start topping up certain segments and putting them on TikTok. I think that's gonna be one of them because the way her face looks. She said maybe where you going to meet these people too. Well, it be Facebook. You're gonna have to get off of Facebook. You're gonna have to get off of Facebook. But y'all,
I got lucky on a dating site, but I don't think that's the standard. I don't think that's the standard.
Oh, you met yours on the dating site?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I did.
But you know what, Chanel? I want to have one about long distance relationships because I don't believe in them, but you are in it. So I really want someone who's in it and see if you can find somebody else that's in it too. I really want y'all to break it down because there's so many of us locals who can't do that long distance shit. And I've been scarring mentally anyway. So it's gonna take somebody who think different because somebody saying
not for the faint of heart. It's not easy, and it's not for the weak of heart. Like you got to be at a certain level. Especially with yourself.
That's deep. I've been wanting to do that ever since you said something when we first met her, but when you first met at Boo, as you call it, and you were saying a relationship and y'all were long distance. I was like, how is this gonna work? Because especially with a woman.
When I met him, we was local. But then I moved. And there was no real expectation that anything was gonna happen after I moved either, and all that. We kept calling, and so we became tighter friends and all that, and just kind of morphed into it.
Well, I have a ton of questions, and I know you're gonna answer them honestly.
Because I'm
so
bullshit,
I wanna, I really. You just like when they was asking Nicki Minaj about Drake and the reference tracks, and she was just being honest. I feel like you would be honest, because I'm gonna picture you being her, because she was just being honest. So I got some questions, man, and I'm not gonna ask you here. I'm gonna wait until we actually doing it. So I'm gonna hit you with some stuff, and I know you're gonna be honest, but that's coming up. So I'm gonna let you know about that. But long distance relationships, because there's quite a few of them that's trying to hold them down. But it's quite a few that has failed. It's more that failed than kept it together. They was like, I can't do long distance,
Yeah, it's hard.
but I need you to, you know, break down on how it worked. And I wouldn't mind, but I know you don't want everybody to see Boo, but I wouldn't mind you can have him with it. She said she don't like her men being sick, but have him on black screen or something on your phone. You know, talking about how y'all make it work, man. That would be so interesting. Because I don't know nobody who ever made it work. I've seen them try it, but it fails. I'm gonna say about 6 or 7 months they started drifting.
Yeah.
It'd be good and strong the first 3 months. It's like they in love. They doing the phone calls. They even playing with themselves. And they excited. Then it'll be a trip here, a trip there, and then after a while, it's like I can't afford the trip, or I got this coming up. I can't make the trip, and then he can't come, and she can't, and then he'd be like, "Well, are you seeing somebody?" And I'm busy. It's just it gets juicy
very easily. Yeah.
Woo! But you see what I'm saying, George? That's gonna be some.
He'll be interested. He'll be interested.
Yeah, that's a juicy topic. So I'm gonna let you know when we do that. But I want to do it. Let me know when you have the time too, so we can work around it. But but with all of that being said, man, we touched up on the topic of the night, and the deal is this here with that. I say on my closing remarks on the topic, men with children not wanting to date women with children. They want women without them. Okay. It's a lot of baby mama drama. It's a lot of baby daddy dramas. But if you walk in that relationship knowing what you want, and like Chanel taught me, you set boundaries. What you're gonna take, what you're not gonna take, what's your breaking point. So once I learned boundaries and breaking points, man, I've been so great. You just got to know what you're going to tolerate. You're not obligated to do anything for those kids. The first thing the lady need to do, the mother of those children, need to let those kids know to respect you. If she's not getting those kids or that child or whatever to respect you from the jump, you have a problem. And that means you need to get out of it. So don't necessarily turn the nose up 100% for every woman that has a child. But if she meets majority of your type, your taste, or whatever you're looking for, she fits a majority of that. And the only downfall maybe is she has a kid or two. It's how she teaches those kids to respect you, and how she respect herself, you, and the children. So that's how I feel about that. The boundaries, the baby daddies. If she's got all that respect, all of that under control, she's dateable. But if none of those things or majority of those things aren't in control, I would get out of it. What do you say, Chanel?
Take that picture down first.
Oh, okay. As a Chanel, I like that picture. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. Now Chanel finna speak first.
And for me, of course, I'm gonna come from a therapeutic standpoint as usual and all that. Like, get your own shit in order always. People have their preferences. You have a right to have your preference. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, literally. You know, you have to figure out what you want and what you desire and what you can, deal with or tolerate. If you know you can't do kids, then you can't do kids. Fine, that's okay. But if you happen to meet somebody and they jam, give it an opportunity, because you just don't know until you know the person. You never know. Just be open.
All right, George. Let's hit a bombshell. I wanted to say you for last because I know you got deep.
All right. Basically, do not close yourself off to dating a woman that has children. Of course, you have to navigate more in terms of how you give yourself and distribute yourself emotionally and mentally with those children. You have to prepare yourself for the complexities of those relationships should the dynamics of the relationship change. But don't feel as though they're not, they're somehow undesirable in any way. And if that was any inferred assertion on my part, that's not what it was. It's just a preference. It's just a preference. But of course, for the right person and at the right time, at the right opportunity, when God deems it fit, should He present me with a woman that has a kid or two, I mean, I'm not gonna miss out on a blessing over a preference.
I like that.
Yeah.
So, we frozen? Did we
No.
lose it? Not you.
No, I was looking for something. I was looking for another video. But yeah, with all that being said, George just closing out. I like the closing. And but with that being said, what he said one more time, you're not gonna miss out on a what?
On a blessing over a preference.
Okay, there you go. Now see that now my other co-host
right
hear that. I'm gonna throw that at him because that was deep. But with that being said, to next week, Speak on the Podcast 2K24. I am your host. This is the summer edition, DJ Black. We had Austin on here. Shout out to Austin. We got Chanel, the no bullshit therapist. And we got George up in here doing his thing. As always, every week. It's a lovely blessing just to have these people on the podcast, and we turn up and have fun whenever at least all of us together. This is the first time in a long time that all of us were together on here, and it was a blast as always. But next week we're gonna come with something more steamy and everything. So kicking it off first of the month. You know what I'm saying? Is August? Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be August in another hour, right? An hour or 2 hours for y'all. So we getting ready to turn it up. So we're gonna keep it going all summer long. Then fall edition gonna be something totally different, man. I'm gonna do something in the fall, and then I'm looking to try to, do a giveaway for Christmas. I'm gonna do some type of thing where I want to do some drawings or something and give away something where I send somebody a gift or something in the mail that means something. So I just got some things coming up, so I'm working on some things. I'm gonna speak on that podcast. But with all that being said, till next week, same time, same spot. You can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, the X app. And I'm thinking about doing Instagram. I'm gonna start putting some clips on what is it, on TikTok. Because like I said, Janelle motivated that. I know her clip going on there.
I gotta get back on it. I ain't been on there in a minute, but I gotta keep consistent.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do some clips, but they be hitting me up about putting out more content because I don't really be doing it. Yeah. So YouTube, Facebook then hit me up too about posting more. So I'm probably gonna start doing little clips and stuff just to post stuff. Wow. But with all that being said, though, we out. Speak on the Podcast 2K24. DJ Black, Chanel, George, we out. And like we always say, hey.
What you thinking, man?
I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now. Okay. And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this monogamy just doesn't fit for me. Right. I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard supposedly is? Right.
And then
the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told, don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we even thought, doesn't my father like me? Is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
no, but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are, like absolutely. So if we don't understand that, all we know is the rejection.
You see, like what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was a run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. You know, at one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, you know, I know, you know, I mean, you did it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So you
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. You know, it means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. You know, that's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, you know, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, you know. So there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, you know, men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my